Hello, is this working? Someone write something. Yeah, it's working. Hello. I'm doing things differently today. The camera's up there, the chat's down there, so I'm not going to be looking very much, but how are we all doing? Hello, Zoinks. Zoinks. Hello, Callum. I'm terrible with names, but Dave, you're right. I don't know. You remember Dave? Am I not using the MG seat anymore? If I could, but the problem is I made them too high. So my knees would be against the table. But apart from that, they're fine. If I'm too loud or too quiet or something like that, just shout. Um, I have an Alpha 156 GTA model. No? Which one are you looking at? That one? That's a BMW. I have got the 156 GTA actually, but it's at home. So, oh wow, bloody hell. There's quite a few going on. Busy day, Sid. Yes, I've just been washing myself down in the back room. All the stuff I did on Professor Tomato in the recent video, I've been doing on another one. So exactly the same thing, and it's just steam cleaner crap falling all over you, horrible. So yeah, horrible job. It just takes ages, absolutely ages. You're spending hours and hours and hours cleaning, prepping so that you can start welding. So yeah, but how well, it's their messages are going fast. I might have to switch it down to top chat only. Hooked on Classics has the lurgy. Oof. You keep it there, mate. I don't want to. I don't want to be sharing that. Oh, Whiteland's here. Oh, here to compare, are you? Yes, it's a BMW. Yes, it is. It's a it's an M3 Touring. It's here. It's the only model I've bought that is actually the business's because it commemorates one that we made. I don't know where the picture for that went, but we made one years ago. So yeah. Wow, hello. Yes, I'm just trying to keep up with the chats. The chat's down here and the camera's up there. So this isn't on a mobile. Look, my phone's here. I'm doing it legit now. It's on a PC. Keep your enemies close. Yeah, got to keep an eye out, haven't you? Keep an eye on what you're doing. Oh. Hello, Laser Capri. Is that like a Robin Reliant? What is the car on the top? Well, do you like the sign? I've just noticed that it's all backwards. I don't know if I don't know if it's backwards to you. That would be really annoying. Is that camera doing it backwards? It's the right way around for you. Right, that's fine. But yeah, God. Yeah, it's just backwards on mine. So that's good. Yeah, my sign is Citroen approved used cars. I don't know why I got it. Put it up in the workshop. It's dealer memorabilia. Yeah. Would I ever own the car on the top shelf? Well, you'd have to be a special type of person, wouldn't you, to have one of those? So I don't know. Kitch, do I watch the Bearded Explorer? No. No, I think I've heard of that one. I don't know what having a beard means to you exploring. Does it help? Is the C6 back up and running? Yes, technically. It's not fully fixed, but there's the surprise, you know. So yeah, I will I've got some idea. I've got a few more things to do on it. There's the video of the DPF and the cat and everything going back in, which you probably figured out happened. And then there's another video with something completely different. And then I haven't done it yet. There might be, if you remember, I tried to do that top down diagnostics. I never filmed it because it didn't work. Well, no, that's a lie. The first time I tried to use it, the first one they sent me, I plugged it in and the spoiler went up and the car like started going up and down and yeah, it was going crazy. And then they sent me this next one, which is like the next one up. Because they're really good to try and figure the problem out. They were really annoyed by it. They were like, "What's that? Should work." And the next one didn't talk to it at all. And then I tried putting Lexia on it the other day to clear the DPF memory because I've had that clean. So you have to like basically tell it it's got a new DPF fitted, and Lexia wouldn't talk to it anymore either. So I think it might have blown a fuse, and it might have been the first one that went on it. So my next job on that car is to try and figure out how to tell it to shut up, basically, because when you drive down the road, it says risk of DPF blocking, and you're like, well, it's not because I've just had it all pumped out. But so yeah, and it's still got a the whooshing noise that I thought was a boost leak, and then thought it was the exhaust and fixed the exhaust, and have now discovered it probably as a boost leak again. So I need to do like, I think I really need to do one of those smoke tests. You know, when they suck up the smoke and blow it all out and everything. So, but there's a fella I watched the other day does Audi TT videos. It's not because he does those. He used an airline, made an adapter, used an airline to check the boost hoses and everything. So I might have to do that because you can't see anything in that car. It's a bloody nightmare in that engine bay. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do it by listening. But I reckon there's probably a rubber hose somewhere that's got a split in it or something. So it's a little bit down on the a little bit down on power at the moment. When it is up on power, I might consider dyno because someone's got to beat auto shenanigans, haven't they? So have we had the third video from the Great British Car Journey yet? No, you haven't. Nope, there is a third and final video coming. So yeah, that I don't know when that'll be out because I was faffing around doing the Saxo one the other day, and then I've got probably should try and get the next British Car Journey one out. They're quite difficult to edit because I'm not. You think I always say I'm not very good at doing them, and people are very kind and they go, "Oh no, it's good, it's good." There's a lot of pauses. There's a lot of gaps. It's just all over the place. So, but all Foxhands here or Foxhands owners here. Any news on Hilda? Yes. Oh, that's the next. Oh, I haven't done that. Have I done a video for that? I can't remember. No, I haven't. I've got no videos filmed on. The last one I did was the engine out, wasn't it? Well, the gearbox has been away. I've sent it to the man, and he's actually done it. So he probably wants paying. Thinking about it. Yeah, yeah, it needed doing. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, I'll have some stuff to show. I just basically need to crack on with that, get that back and crack on with it. So just get someone with a vape to blow down the hose. Yeah. Track Xantia, what the Tractiva? It's got, I don't know what type of plant it is, but it has a type of plant growing in the scuttle panel, which is probably not ideal. But yeah, no, nothing's happened on that. I do want to get something done on that. It's just when you've got so many to juggle, yeah, it's tough to try and balance it all. Sort of rather than it's like plate spinning. You either just keep spinning that one and then spin that one and then spin, or do you think let them all fall down and just finish one plate first and then? So I'll go through phases. Sometimes like I'll do a little bit on all of them, and then sometimes I think no, I'll put them all down and just work on that one. So yeah, but are the inlet manifolds plastic on the C6? Yes, everything's plastic. I wouldn't be surprised if the pistons were plastic. It wouldn't be silly dyno. Well, you can dyno an auto. You can dyno an automatic. You can't get an accurate. Well, you can't get a fully accurate flywheel figure on a manual on a rolling dyno, but they're pretty close. But you can put an auto on the dyno, and the C6 has got a manual override, so you can get it to stay in gear, which is ideal. You need it to stay in a certain gear, and well, so the C6 will work quite well because there's no torque converter slip on it. It's fully locked out because the torque converter is broken. I'm pretty sure it's broken. I think that's what the problem is. So normally on an automatic, when you got to do a dyno run, if your torque converter allows some slip, that's not good for a rolling road because it's just going to ruin the figures. So the C6 isn't doing that. So it would be like a manual. The only problem you've got is when you reach the top of your rev band and then you come off the throttle, you can't dip the clutch, which you would do on a manual. You just have to take your foot off. Or if you really wanted to try and be accurate, you could knock it into neutral. But I don't know if I want to knock it into neutral at 80 mile an hour or 90 or whatever it'd be doing. I always get like panicked, like it's going to do something bad to the gearbox. So I might ask one of my mates who knows. Chris knows loads about gearboxes. He'll be able to tell me whether it would kill it or not. If you could do that, you'd get a pretty accurate figure within 10 on the flywheel. The wheel figure would be accurate. The wheel figure is absolute. It's always accurate. But yeah, it would be based on that. Whereas something like everyone goes on about Ian putting Betty on there, and the problem you've got is that, I mean, you might have, it depends on what gearbox it's got, but a lot of autos will force kickdown, unless they've got a pronounced switch at the bottom of the pedal, and they won't go through it unless you really push it. But a lot of boxes will automatically change down anyway, and you can't stop them. So you can get accurate wheel figures, but that's it. And you basically just have to say, well, it's probably losing about 25 horsepower through the transmission. So I wouldn't have thought the C6 is putting out full beans anyway. I would think it's probably about, I don't know, 180 at the wheels, something like that, 170, 180 at the wheels, maybe a little bit less. Oh, Jeff, you have to do that, mate. Thank you. Have some coin for Hill. I'll put that towards Hilda's box. A little bit of that gearbox will be Jeff's. But my BX is a split coolant hose, but I'm going to somewhere in the Netherlands, I think. Oh, is that the place he went? Did he ever do his video on that? Looking around that place. Clement obituary. Clement is actually over there. The remains of Clement are over there. Yeah. I don't know what the outcome is going to be for Clement. Well, but I know the outcome for me is that it's not going back on the road. It's gone. It's done. Well, officially, it wasn't really a car anymore at the end of 2023. What happens next? What I don't want is just to take a few bits off it. I've sold some parts off it now. I got messed around by people like messaging, going, I'll have it, and then actually I can't fit it. Or or one got I'll have it, and then offers you half the money. that you had it up for. But I've sold a couple of the bits off it. What I don't want is for it to just kind of be unceremoniously dumped or scrapped or something like that. I want to make something come of it. So whether that's, I've had ideas to chop up the bodywork into little tabs and sell them off, little pieces of, like they do with aeroplane tags. There's all sorts of things, even potentially letting a banger racer take it. Once all the important stuff has been taken off it, I don't waste stuff. So it's just, a knackered shell with a knackered bodywork, and then a Pinto in the front of it or something like that. Yeah, I just want something. I just think it'd just be sad just to scrap what's left, like with nothing, with no kind of fanfare. So yeah, but it's done. It's definitely done. It's not going back on the road. It's too far gone. So yeah, it was. I think it was done when whoever bodged it recently bodged it. So it is a shame. Yeah, it is a shame. I am sad about it. I am gutted about it. But at the same time, the DS is not the DS is not a rare car. There's a lot of them out there. They made quite a few of them. There are plenty out there. If you speak to the Citroen specialist, the DS specialist, many cars get chopped up for bits to service the many tidy ones that are left. And I think when it got to the point where I love the way Clement looked. Like you see I know you probably just about see the artwork thing there, Russ Wallace job. But when I discovered how bodged it was underneath, I kind of fell out of love with that a little bit, because that kind of then became representative of shite it's had up to now, basically. And then I thought, no, I'd only have it restored now. I'd only do it up. And then I thought, well, you know, that's time that you do the SM up in, isn't it? It's a full resto. And I just thought, no, it's getting silly now. If you're going to, I haven't got endless time. So if you're going to put all your time into something, it should be the SM. So yeah, I'm gutted because there's good memories with Clement. First live stream, the charity live stream, going around France with the family and finding like little name tags and things for it, and yeah, the naming of it, and everything like that. But yeah, you've got to know when it's going to take you over. I've got to be in control of it. If it starts to rule my life, then that's getting too much. So it wasn't a decision that was taken lightly, put it that way. But oh, hang on. Oh, damn. Hang on. I didn't realize the chat thing hadn't moved. Can I get it to start in a certain gear? Was this going back to the dyno? The C6, you could put it into manual and put it into fourth, because you really have to, well, assuming that is the closest, you need to have the closest 1-to-1 ratio. So like every input is the most similar to every output, because if you have like an input that's 1 and the output's 3, that's multiplying the torque. No, other way around, reducing the torque. So you want to try and have it as close as you can 1-to-1, which is why most cars do it in fourth gear, because fourth gear is usually the closest 1-to-1. Not always. I mean, I think with the van it was, I think the van was fifth. I can't remember for sure, but yeah, that's why you do that. So with the C6, you'd put it into fourth and then start the run there. And normally I start them about 35 miles an hour, or 30 if it's a short geared car. But the C6, if you drop too low in fourth, it will automatically assume that you're a moron, and it will change gear for you into third. So if you go down too slow, then you lose your fourth gear. So you just have to figure out what the lowest it will go down in fourth gear is and start there. So it could be something stupid like 50. I did have a van. I had a Merc van on there once. Well, I don't know if it was a van, one of those V class things or Vito or whatever. And yeah, that as an auto, and it was all over the shop. So trying to figure out the numbers on that was funny. Is Hilda's VTR engine the one you took out of your Saxo? Right. First off, not my Saxo. Hashtag not my Saxo. No, it's not. I'm surprised no one mentioned that, actually. I was expecting that. I was going to address that, and then I completely forgot. No, the engine that came out of my wife's Saxo got sold years ago, way before. That was in 2009. And I delivered it. I must be an idiot. I think he offered me more money and I delivered it. I put it in the back. I took it up in the Saxo when it had the VTS engine in. I remember going up the A43 off the roundabouts, giving it beans with VTS engine, and I had the VTR engine in the back, slamming around. So, yeah, that was that went there, and then Hilda's Saxo VTR that bought a car just for the engine, broke the car just for the engine because it was a Poseidon Blue Phase 1 VTR, johned up. It wasn't great. It could have been a nice one, I suppose, if you'd gone through it, but that came around is when the original guy who bought Hilda to me before I bought it off him, yeah, he bought the Saxo, and it must have been about 2013, 2012, 2013. So your mate thinks you're mad because you're watching me rather than going to the pub. Yeah, probably a bit mad, although 7's a bit early, isn't it? I'm thinking of a car to take some miles off the S60, and a mint 04 plate Zara hatch just tickled my fancy. Are they any good? They are fugly, but if it's just a smoker sort of thing, then that doesn't really matter. They're smooth, they ride well, they handle quite well, quite comfy, but they're pretty dull. But they have got a good platform suspension and everything, and they've got the heated rear window element switch on the end of the wiper stalk, which I think is the best place to have it. And you put it on, and the little telltale comes on in the dials. It's the only interesting thing about a Zara. That's literally it. Yeah, they're pretty dull, really. But they are, the 306 is the same car, but a bit lighter and a lot better looking. So, but then I think they rust worse. But yeah, I've had Zaras. I've had two. Yeah, they're good cars. They do a good job. So if autos are possible, we need C6 versus Betty or something. Well, the C6 and Betty are very close in book figures. Horsepower at the flywheel, but torque, the C6 is different level. So yeah, I don't know. But then the Betty is more likely to be running. Well, I say running properly. Didn't I do a 0 to 60 in Betty with the draggy thing? And it was just under 11 or something like that. So don't know. I would think Betty's probably in better health. I would have thought. So any part of the dearly departed Clement that could help the SM? Yeah, probably. Yeah, not a huge amount, but I would think there are some bits that can. So that's what I'll be going through that. I mean, the gearbox technically is pretty much the same as the one in the manual SM, so I'll always keep that by in case that ever happens. But which is faster, Betty or the C6? Off the line, Betty, because the C6's torque converter doesn't really, well, it permanently converts torque. It doesn't do anything else. But once they're rolling, I reckon the C6, I over sort of 40 or 50, I reckon the C6 would be gone when it was working properly, when it wasn't going everywhere. Which is quicker, Took or Hilda? That's rude, isn't it? Well, at the moment, Took, because Hilda hasn't got an engine or gearbox. So yeah, I imagine it's Took at present, given it's mobile. It is a shame. It is a shame about Clement. Yeah, it is. It is. It is sad. And you know, I was very, very excited when I got that car. I was really like buzzing. Um, the only silver lining in it is that I hate getting attention when I drive down the road. I hate people looking at the car I'm in. I hate people looking. I'm just like, I don't like it. I just want to be like, don't look, just let me enjoy it. And I think Clement would have been quite a head turner. So I've dodged that bullet. But yeah. Hello, Barnsley. Did wonder during the 25-hour stream whether a charity dyno day would be an idea. The problem with dyno days is that they're very tiring. They're quite labour intensive. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be doing a members meet at some point probably this spring, which you will know because you remember. So you'll have seen the posts. But yeah, just because I can't hold an event with loads of people. Well, I'm not saying loads of people would turn up, but I can't hold an event with a lot of people. And plus, like, I've got to do something back, haven't I? Like, if people put their money in every month, and I don't give as much back as I want to. So, but yeah, I just need to get the place tidied up, and that might be able to do something on the dyno, but I wouldn't be able to get a string of them on there. So, because it's me that's got to do it, and it's just time consuming. It's a faff, to be honest. And the dyno works, but the setup on it at the moment takes longer than it should do. So, and the computer it's on is about 500 years old. But apart from that, yeah, it's all good. So, I've had an Astra on there before. Astra CDTI. Or was it a Corsa? No, it was a Corsa. It was a Remat 1.3 Corsa. It wasn't bad. It was about 120 something horsepower from a 1.3 diesel Corsa. So poor Clement. Yes, yeah. Well, you probably see bodges, don't you? I'm working on this BX at the moment, not tomato, and there's filler in the rear chassis leg. So they're out there and they're everywhere. But bang race Clement and Vecchi. Nothing would stop Vecchi. I mean, well, I've seen those Ivecos bang raced, and the body falls off. You know, before they die, they keep going. It's just the body falls apart. That might be what happens with Vecchi, to be honest, because unless someone specifically wanted one of those Ivecos, which I did, admittedly, I quite liked it, but it's just too far gone. I have to prioritize. I've got TVR, Hilda. Keeping the C6 going as a daily is quite labour intensive. That's not the fault of the car. It's not because it's unreliable or anything like that. It's just like it had problems when I got it that hadn't been sorted, and I still haven't sorted all of those. And then there are things like the boost leak is something that's gone wrong since, but yeah, there are kind of like it can't work on the C6 like getting it where I want it in terms of condition and how well it works and things. So, and there's just like a number of cars that we just have to keep working on. So I haven't got time for big projects, to be honest. I really need to get Hilda. I want to get the TVR going. I need to get that on the road, really. And yeah, I just need to get started on this SM. So I have done some stuff for the SM, little bits of progress. So the SM will start. I was getting into the swing of it before Christmas, and then Christmas coming, it screws everything up because it ruins your flow. So I've stopped again, but yeah, I'll get going again. I bought something. I bought a panel, but the only panel I could find. So yes, there is, and I bought a special tool. So I'll do videos on that. But I did start doing something on the SM. I was at the back. I did start taking, removing bits and going through them. So yeah, it's starting to slowly get going again. Clement key fobs from the metal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, things like that. I mean, I thought about doing key rings and like just panels with and then get some stickers made, some like stencil stickers or something, and So you sticker each one and you can number them or something daft like that, because really all you're doing is buying a piece of scrap. It's more a kind of like, it's like, you know, when the Vulcan company, the 558 people lunched an engine because they left a whatever it was, silicon bag in the air intake and launched an engine. They were selling off broken turbines, and like, well, it's just a memento, but it doesn't really, it's not good value. You're donating really to help something. So the money for Clement, should I sell anything like the bodywork and things like that, the money for that will go towards the SM. But I think I would also do a little portion for Sophie's legacy as well. I think I'd kind of have a 20% on each one or something like that, just as a kind of like a regular ticking thing, because it kind of, that car, that charity thing, and that car, it kind of goes together. So I was going to do a little board for Clement. It was going to have in the back window like the first live stream there and like all the stickers of all the YouTube channels that were in it. But yeah, it's going to be scrapped now. So I've still got the window, so I could stick the stickers in the window, couldn't I? But oh dear, hang on. Oh man, it's all gone over the place. The jig from Clement must be worth a bit. I don't know. Maybe. Well, no, I don't. No, I think it's just one of those things where like it took me absolutely ages, and it's just not worth anything. It's just hung on the wall at the moment. So Clement key rings, bits of Clement. Yeah. Well, I was calling it pieces de Clement, like a kind of perfume, odeur de Clement. That will smell of rust and disappointment, and that horrible sealant. You would do Clement up, would you, Edward? Crack on. Make me an offer. This is the thing. I've had people get like narky about it, and they'd be like, "Oh, you should do it up, or you should at least let someone else do it." I put it up for sale straight away. I offered it around. I shared it around. I said, if someone wants to come and do it, I put it on AutoShite. I put it on Facebook. Just like, if someone wants to come and do it, and just, I wasn't trying to make money off it or anything. I was like, just, I was losing money. It was just like, just give me. I think I had it for £2,000 with the bits. So it was like, I don't know, two and a half, just over £2,500 worth of stuff, knowing that you could sell the rack for probably £1,000 alone. And yeah, so I put it out there, but I suppose when push comes to shove, people sit back down, don't they? So yeah, there should be enough metal to make a limited run of. Well, you could do more than 20. You could sell loads. Josh, you'll do what Whistling Diesel did, because didn't his Ferrari caught fire in a field. It accidentally caught fire. I'm guessing because he'd had cease and desist letters from Ferrari saying you are not allowed to smash that car up or we will sue you, and there'll be some stupid rule that says that you can't actually do something with your own property because it's a Ferrari. But it caught fire, and then he put it in a blender, like a car. I don't know what Ferrari it was, one of them new ones. They're all the same. But yeah, he put it in a car shredder, and then he had these little Tupperware. He had these little like acrylic cases of mashed up. We couldn't say it was a Ferrari. It was like an Italian supercar. Each one of those was some stupid amount of money for what was a bunch of scrap. It was like $150 or $200 or something. He's American, and he did that, and he did it with some sort of pickup. Or was it a G wagon? Did he shred the G wagon? I can't remember. He had this horrible red G wagon, and I think he made $270,000. You have to watch the video. Yeah, he's the only one I watch who smashes stuff up, and I have no issue with it, because it's like he'll just smash anything up. It doesn't matter what it is. He doesn't punch down. He doesn't pick on cheap old cars and stuff like that. It just doesn't matter if it's his. It gets wrecked. It's kind of like it's kind of punk. I kind of like it. I'll probably go off it at one point, but it wasn't a DS. Very true. It wasn't a DS. It was a D special. Is that a Marcus Hayes Maud sticker on the bottom on the shelf? I don't know what any of that is. You'll have to elaborate. But I mean, it's not whatever it is. Bottom of the shelf. Well, the Beamer there, and there's a BX model, and then there's a picture of VEP, an old picture which has been there for a while. I need to think of a colour for the SM. What makes you think I haven't? The SM's colour has already been decided. It was decided a year ago. So, Whitelands, are you offering to paint it? I'm hoping they'll paint the SM. I quite like them to do it because, well, it's the right thing because they did the little wooden things, the little magnets. They're actually quite good at painting too, from what I can see. So, and they'd get a bit of content, I suppose, painting an SM. So, because it's kind of a big deal, they can take on Clement if they want. Yeah, they had one in. I think they had a DS in. Hello, Walter. Oh, thank you very much about the Saxo video. Yeah. Well, I don't know if I have the skills. People, yeah, I just talk. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it took a bit of work, that Saxo video, actually. And there's so much I missed out of it as well. There's so many bits that I got to the end of it when I edited it and thought, oh, I missed this, and loads of stuff. But originally, it was supposed to be one video, the story, and then the driving and the mods that it's got now, because it's not standard. It's got lots of little mods in it. But it ended up overrunning. Like, I mean, it was 40 minutes, which is longer than I wanted it to be anyway. So I'll do a driving. Well, might do a driving video separately, and then a walk around and like zoom in on the mods video separately. And maybe go through some of the bits of story that I missed, because I did miss quite a lot. So, but it has been there a long time. We went out in it on Wednesday, when that video went live. We just got back. I was in a meat coma because we went for a meal. And yeah, we driving it around all day. So took it around all the places it used to go 20 years ago and stuff. So it was nice. Clement is too much of a project. You know, I wouldn't want to give work to his rivals. I would if the rivals were good, which they do seem to be. So Hubnut can take on Clement. Have you seen Hubnut? I've never heard the expression Johned up before your sax of it. Really? Everyone says Johned up round here. John Boy Racer. They say buried, don't they? Barry boys. Buried in other. There was that website, wasn't there? Barry boys, and they used to take the mickey. But yeah, John Boy, yeah, Johned up. That's a few people have said that. Would I be interested in comparing a C6 to a 307? Quite different cars. Unless you mean 607, because they're 3 and the 6 are quite close on the keyboard. So I would much rather have the C6, but oh god, hang on, how far behind am I here? I think I'm a long way behind. Yeah, 607. Yeah. Yeah, well, I'll have a look at a 607. I think they're not a great looking car, but they're probably a good value car. I don't know how well they'll ride, because that suspension, that platform, that the 407 and the 607 and the C6 and everything, they don't ride as well as the older stuff. I reckon a 60. I've never driven a 605, but I reckon a 605 would be quite a nice smooth thing. So I'd have a go at one, yeah. I should do more road tests really, but I just have to do them my own way, where I can't reel off all the facts and things. So I just drive down the road and go, oh, I've forgotten to talk. What do I do? Oh, as a cyclist, oh, um, yeah. So I'm a long way behind here, aren't I? I'm gonna have to speed up slightly. And white SM will be totally under the radar. It won't be white. I'm not going to have an SM and then have it white. Three colours. You would not have an SM, which ironically are all colours that I would have a BX16 valve. White, black, red. But well, no black. I have seen a couple of black SMs that are nice, but bright red and white, no. So no, that is changing. Hello, Burke. I can't pronounce your name, but hello from Norway. Hello from Dublin. I do like Dublin. Had a lovely Italian there once, and the post boxes were green. That's all I remember. How much am I selling Clements for? Well, at the moment, Clement is now worth less. I don't know. Make me an offer. Doesn't have a steering rack anymore, so and some other bits have gone. Am I going to Rustival? What's Rustival? Who do I think I would win in a fight? A grilled cheese sandwich or a burrito? Are you just trying to spam my chat now to kind of take me down? I would say a burrito because surely that's spicier. I would have the grilled cheese sandwich, but I would imagine a burrito would win. Unless you really over grill the sandwich and it's burnt to a cinder, because then it'd be rock hard. So, how's Vecchi? Meh. What YouTube video? God, you're cracking on with a question. You're getting your money's worth, Edward, aren't you? What YouTube videos do I watch and what's my favorite? All sorts. I don't um I don't watch a huge amount of car stuff. Well, no, I do. That's a lie. Um, I watch. I suppose I watch Hubnut. I don't watch a lot of car stuff that are long. It's just stupid because I make them that are long, but I don't have the time. I quite often watch just short things, but uh, I do all sorts. What's the last stuff I watched? I've got different accounts. So the Up and Down account, I watch more car related stuff. Um, so that would be and motorsport. So that would be like what comes up on there on the recommended. Hubnut comes up. Wrench and Wench, Katie comes up on there. Steve, 16 Valvo, whenever the rare occasions he does something that comes up. But then also I watched all sorts of stuff on there. One of my favourite ones is Rocket Powered Mohawk, who's not very PC. You've got to have the right kind of humour for that, but I think he's absolutely hilarious. I don't know. Auto Shenanigans when they come up when John comes up with one. It's normally only I just normally watch it there and then because it's only normally 7 minutes or so. It's a shame they're so short because he's so funny in real life that you could make a constant you could just be laughing for 20 minutes straight. But I appreciate that his content is content that if you went that long with it, you might start losing people. There's only so many jokes you can do about a motorway. So, although he's running out of motorways, I remember he said, when I do the M25, you know that I've reached the end, and he's just done the first M25. I think it's going to be in like 3 parts or something. So, but yeah, there's all sorts I watched. I mean, and then on the flip side, on my other channel, I watched a guy called Big Will, who does horror movie, like he breaks horror movies down and just like into bite-sized chunks. So, but they're funny. He narrates it in a funny way and takes the mickey out of them. So, That G-Wagon auto called Mercedes. This is whistling diesel, isn't it? Yeah, it auto called Mercedes to report an accident. It did. That was quite funny. Yeah, it'd be good if they paint that, wouldn't it? Oh, thank you, Simon. Very kind. I'm putting these funds towards Hilda. So, yes, I hope they paint VEP as well. I think VEP deserves it, but you need to keep it the same colour. Don't go changing the colour. Well, it's your car. You can do what you want with it, but I would keep it the same colour. SM doesn't have a name. It's beyond names. It's the SM. Will it be POV driving the Saxo or just Hubnut style? What do you mean just Hubnut style? Poor Hubnut. I think it won't be POV because I use my phone now. So I'd have my phone on my head, so I'd be driving down the road like that. I'd look a bit stupid. Yeah, no, I did do I thought the POVs were kind of like a different way of doing things because I wanted to give people a kind of a feel for what a car's like. I thought with the TVRs it might be good, but they don't really. I mean, you could put a POV on. Maybe I could do it like for 5 minutes, just to use it as B-roll footage or something like that. But yeah, I think it'll probably just be standard in car. I think probably over the shoulder is the better one. I don't think there's any good having it looking at me. I think like people want to see the dashboard and everything and the interface and that. With the Saxo, you can put the sunroof. You can attach a mount on the sunroof, so it's kind of behind you like that, looking down. So that works quite well because I've done that before with a GoPro. So I'd probably be something like that. And then you'd be able to see the handbrake turns and things as well. Blue Romantic. I wonder why you thought Blue Romantic was the best color ever. I like the Saxo video. I linked it to a friend of mine who has a Mark 1 VTR and is a massive Saxo fan. Made him very happy. Good. I mean, I did kind of slag the VTR off a little bit. But, well, also, I have a VTR engine. I don't own a Saxo. My wife owns a Saxo. I own a Saxo engine, a VTR engine. So it's just I put it in a car that's much lighter than a Saxo, but it's, that eats its own gearbox. Oh, God, it's all gone. Evening from sunny Warsash. Warsash being Warsash that's like a few miles away, because that's not sunny, is it? Let's be honest. It's the opposite of sunny at the moment. Around here, it's kev'd up. Yeah, I've heard kev'd up. Gary's and Barry's boys, yeah. Nice picture on the hoodie. Yes, I've got a few people have ordered these. Thank you very much. I haven't ordered them yet because I'm going to alter the design slightly. I got this one in, and then things I weren't happy with, I was going to tweak it, but I haven't finished tweaking it. But it'll come through quite quick once it's done. So I'm going to have to switch the chat over to top chat, I think, because I'm just not catching up. Oh, I don't know. Oh no, I might be able to. Right, I'm going to try bashing through them. There we go. Right. Hello, Mighty Cat Mods. You quite like my road test. Thank you, Matt. Someone's got to. You prefer my style of road test to If you like my road test, you're like Katie, Wrench and Wench. I watched hers the other day from the Great British Car Journey thing, and hers were actually the ones I was sort of most keen to see, but the ones I was most interested to see, because I knew that she's out of her comfort zone as well, and they ended up kind of similar, really. But I think she did a better job than me. I think she was more fluent and just kept it going, But it's that kind of thing. So if you like what I do, you'll like what she did as well. Paint It Blue. Isn't it Paint It Black? Isn't that the song? No, it's not going to be a white SM. No, who'd have an SM in white? So I did quite fancy doing it, like the one that got put into the water in that film, The Longest Yard. I need to watch that. Have I heard Betty has had another transmission leak? And pretend I didn't read that. Emil J, evening, sir. Will you be keeping the SM's nose US spec or doing a Euro conversion? Based on the cost of a Euro front end being around about, well, I was led to believe around about £6,000 used, but most people seem to agree now that you're probably talking more like 8. I think I can live with the US one. I've got plans for it, how to make it look slightly. I actually don't mind the US one that much. It needs to have the lenses all the way across. Not having those kills it. It needs to have the glass lens, and I can do that. They don't fit brilliantly, but with a bit of tweaking and stuff, I'll be able to. I can fit some of those, although they're grand, just for the lenses. But the pods inside that the lights sit in, I don't know. They're silly money. And then even if you fit the Euro ones, if you want to fit the things that make them steer, because they turn with the steering and they move with height. They're like on a gimbal. Clements were as well. So like the anti-roll bars are connected to the headlights, and when the car goes over bumps, the headlights do this. But on an SM, they're hydraulic, of course. I actually have got all that hydraulic pipe work because I took it off the donor. Well, not donor, but the parts car. But yeah, I don't think I'd bother. So I would imagine it'll be staying US. The bigger question will be whether I keep the marker lights on the side, because part of me thinks, like, if it's US spec, don't try and, like, some people try and hide it, and I'm thinking, well, don't hide it. It is what it is. Don't hide it. Don't be ashamed of it. Just, it's part of the story. They sold them in the US. If they hadn't sold them in the US, they wouldn't have sold as many cars, because they did sell quite well in the US. So I'm not going to shy away from it. But at the same time, the markers do look a bit crap, and it's a nice. So I don't know. That'll come later. To be fair, I've got other issues to deal with first. Yeah, Cold War Motors. There are tons of channels I watch. Honestly, there are loads. It's just I can never rattle them off. But yeah, I watch Cold War Motors. I watch Misha. Most of the people on my live stream I watch, to be honest. The Danny DC2, I watch him. Yeah, I watch loads because he's just living the dream, basically. So, Steve is here. Hello, Steve. Didn't confirm that the BIC is indeed the greatest special edition ever made. Well, I don't know much about the BIC, really. I think the West Coast is based on the BIC, isn't it? Well, it uses the BIC interior. So, Laurie's Mechanical Marvels. I've seen. I think I have seen one of those. I think I have seen one. I do watch some train stuff. I'm a bit sad like that. Would I convert the SM to electric? No. A DS, yes, but the SM, the engine is part of the character. So yeah, no, it's got to stay as the engine it's got. And even if that engine was dead, I'd put a different V6 in it. It has to, yeah. The SM is a car that has to sound right, I think. So, but I'm not against electric conversions. Engine in a DS or a traction or something like that. Yeah, I mean, they'd probably be quite good as electric, but yeah, I think for the SM not. Do I not watch my competition? I watched Whitelands. I mean, I watched. There was one. Which one was it? I watched one recently. I can't even remember what it was. As I say, I've got so many people I've subscribed to, and I don't get a chance. You're getting some TRX style alloy. Well, if you're gonna, you'll have to do what I did with the alloys that were on the GT, which were 14-inch, ground down to look like TRXs. So, but if you go for actual TRXs, joke's on you because they are expensive tires. Did I drive the Austin 7? Yes, the video is online. Yeah, I did wonder the head cam might be a bit nausea inducing. I mean, it has got image stabilization on it. But as I found out with a lot of the footage from the Austin 7 and the third car, the image stabilization on the phone had a funny 5 minutes and it went a bit sketchy. So a lot of it got lost. So, yeah, I think, to be honest, a bit of B-roll, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to stick with it. Did my wife like the Saxo video? I believe so. Yes, she did. Yeah, she said kind things. Hello, when more's Antia vids. I want to do more with the Tractiva. Well, I have two Xantias. I've got the Tractiva, and I've got a V6. The V6 hasn't really been used on anything, so I don't even know what I'm going to do with it. But yeah, I would like to do more with the Xantia, with the Tractiva. My kids would like to as well, because the whole point was to turn it into a track car and go in and drive around tracks, because they're motorsport mad. They love touring cars and, you know, tracks and things like that, circuits. So we visit as much as we can. And to have a car like, it doesn't really matter what car it is, but Tractor is quite a good car for it, I suppose, just to travel around. You can even drive it to the tracks, and then they can experience going around Brands and then go around Donington and then go around well, maybe not Thruxton so much. You can't really do that very often, but yeah, you know, so go around all the tracks and do track days and things. That was the point. So, thoughts on last year's BTCC season? Are you the chap, James Batchelor? Are you the chap who asks that every live stream? I enjoyed it. I not as much as the season before, but then the season before it went down to pretty much the last race. It did, didn't it? It was the last race when Ingram won it. Yeah, it's a little bit. It went a little bit Max Verstappen, didn't it? This season, Napa put in so much time and money into that car over the winter break, and just turned it into a missile, basically. So yeah, it kind of. I don't think other teams have got the money to do that. There's no prize money in touring cars. That's a crazy thing. There's no prize money in the BTCC. So all these teams have to raise the funds themselves and everything, and then you win nothing at the end of it. So whereas I think with what's the other one they do? TCR. I think they got different rules. But sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. Like something I was grinding earlier on. It's got my nose. Yeah, the rules on TCR. I think there is prize money on that, but yeah, I think I enjoy it. I still enjoy BTCC. I don't think it was as good as the season before. It's obviously not anything like the Super Tours were, but the racing is still good. There's some really good drivers in it. Really fast driver. Jake Hill was very fast. Josh Cook is. I think he probably needs to make sure he gets himself into a fast car, to be honest, because I mean they're all fast, but he should be higher up the grid. I think Tom Ingram is rapid. Yeah, there's some really good drivers, and Ash Satton's just run off with it, hasn't he? The driver I enjoyed the most last season was Dan Rowbottom, because he's just not afraid. He will just make moves, but they're kind of fair most of the time. It's not like Ricky Collard moves where it's just a torpedoing it into the side of someone and see if you get around the corner. That's harsh, isn't it? He doesn't quite do that, but he's not afraid. Whereas Rowbottom's a little bit more sensible, but still kind of exciting. So we went to Silverstone last year, which is normally a dead race, and it was really good. It was a really good time there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it again. It's just sad that it's so short. The season's so short and the races are so infrequent. And it's kind of just buried on ITV4 somewhere, you know. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So um, should get a plurial. No, I don't hate myself enough for that. I hate myself, but not that much. Everyone's got a limit. Two AXs on for right. So an AX with a Saxo VTS engine is one of my dream cars. I always wanted to build one, and I've basically by going to the SM, I've I've accepted that I'm not going to do that. I'm going to skip that unless I buy one that's already built and works, I suppose. But yeah, no, not a hot player. No, the only time, yeah, the only type of hot plurial I would like to have is one that's on fire, and I can just watch it. Especially at the moment because it's cold. I don't like plurials at all. I cannot stand them. So yes, no one needs a plurial. They look like a duck. No, that's unfair to ducks. Plurials look like one of those. Do you know those amphibious, those like landing craft from the war with the funny front end? But they were good. They had a purpose. Plurial doesn't. So I would have a Ford sport car. No, not sport. Street car over a plurial. That's how much I don't like a plurial. Oh, thank you, Arkeys74. Azantia brake owner from Denmark. I'm guessing that's Denmark. Only 30 left on the road over there. There can't be many on the road over here. But the problem, I don't know if it is true for Xantias, but for BXs, the registration, the DVLA, they don't differentiate between estates and hatchbacks. You don't actually know how many estates there are left because they're just down as whatever the trim is. So I don't know if it's different for the Xantia, but if it's different in Denmark, I mean, there can't be many on the road here. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a similar kind of number, to be honest, because you never see them. Do you see a Montego SI seat in the background? An MG Montego. But yes, well spotted. MG. I'm probably going to sell those. MG Montego non-turbo, the 2 litre I. Oh no, 2 litre. Just says 2 litre on that badge, on that little tag. So, oh, gosh, right. I'm just trying to catch up. Has anyone else found themselves addicted to Land Rover time thanks to me? I haven't been watching. I've not watched it. I don't really like modern Land Rovers. I don't know why. I watch it for his knowledge and his blatant kind of engineering nous on that engine. But I've got no interest in Discoveries and Range Rovers and things like that. I just like the fact that he knows about the engines and I kind of like the humor. Yeah, I think the automatic gearbox suits the SM. I've never driven one, so I'll probably change my mind when I do. But just trying to catch up with the comments. See you later, Charlie. Yes, I'd like to see the tracks if ever in a touring car inspired up and down livery, and that is actually the plan. But obviously, plans are there, and what actually happens can be completely unrelated. So, would I say I'm a petrol head family overall? I don't know, not really. I mean, like everyone in the house has an interest in cars, but none of them are unhealthy except me. Like my wife likes cars, but they don't steer what she does. Well, to a point, she's grown up around them ever since she was young, and then of course my kids have grown up around them. They're more motorsport driven than cars themselves. They're like when I used to watch touring cars when I was a kid, I'd obsess about the actual cars. Whereas now they just like the actual. Well, like they're a bit more normal, really. They like the racing and the drivers. That said, all the cars on the grid are so similar now, whereas back in there they were different. So, good evening, Terry. See you later, Foxanne. Where we at? Where we at? Have I caught up yet? Oh, nearly, nearly. Love the BX and Saxo story times, but especially the BX. Yeah, I mean that went. I don't know. I planned to do something like that with the BX when I got rid of Vet. So it's a video version of something that I've written loads of times, but it was, of course, I was actually getting rid of the car. So yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm pleased with how they both came out. To be honest, they're both videos where I've just made them. I'm just like, screw it, I'm just going to make it, and if people watch it, they watch it, and if they don't, they don't. I kind of do that with most of them anyway, but with those ones, it was definitely just that. So, I've not seen the late break show doing a sleeper. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Yeah, the sleeper Allegro. I try not to watch builds of cars because my professional head starts going like, I see someone cutting a floor out of a car, or I don't know, doing something like completely changing a car structurally, and in my head it's going, uh you can, that's got to go through IVA, that's got to go through, you can't enjoy stuff because you know the rules, and most people don't know the rules. So even people who police the things don't know the rules that well. It's only because I've read them so many times. So yeah, I struggle to enjoy stuff like that. But I liked it. I did see it up to the point where it had a Honda V6 in it, and I liked that. And then it wasn't, and I thought, no, I'm starting to lose interest now, because it was just a silly engine with a bit of character, and now it's probably just a. I'm guessing it's just a VTEC inline four or something. So, seeing as I reached the summit of Citroen ownership when I bought the SM, are there any others still on my wish list? Well, yeah. Well, I guess a DS would be nice now, uh, but there's no point if you've got an SM, I suppose. An AX 16 valve, or AX VTS as we'd always refer to them, and an XM V6 24 valve, the early one that Seaside Garage is working on, that kind of one. Yeah, that would be. I've always wanted one of them. So, other than that, well, I mean the old stuff like the M35 and all the really cool stuff, and, you know, yeah. But realistic stuff, XMs are rare. AX, I could build one. I just, I'm not going to get into all that. Yeah, no, it probably was the SM. It's probably the peak. I don't think there's much. I kind of killed Citroen, haven't I? Now I've got to the top of it and gone, well, that's that. Apologies if this is a real basic question, but what was the difference between VTR and VTS? You'll have to watch the video, because at the beginning of the Saxo video, I basically go into that. Do I ever watch Tasty Classics? I've watched one where he did something with his mum's Renault. Would I help Auto Alex with his BX estate? Well, not his BX. And that BX was in here. Hang on. Let's have a look. Have I still got my evidence? I think. When you say Auto Alex is BX estate, do you mean that BX estate? the one on my ramp on the 2nd of November 2023. It's not focusing, but yeah. No, because the guy who owned it at that time is a nice fella, and I told him that it was a death trap, basically. Well, not a death trap, but it's just it's finished, it's dead. It was absolutely riddled at the back, like, you know, that'd be one of the ones where you hear a story on Facebook that the back axle's fallen off someone's BX. It was just horrendously bodged. It didn't ride properly. The clutch on it was savage. It was like on or off. It was just a heap, an absolute heap. And he did the best thing he could do, which was to get shot of it. I had it in to change the suspension pipe. But yes, I believe it's been foisted upon Auto Alex, who likes to call cars shitboxes, and I don't know why. Well, that one is, but yeah. Just because a car is old and not particularly valuable, it doesn't make it a shitbox. So, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I watched a bit of that video, and then when they went round a roundabout with suspension on high, I just stopped it because I thought I'm gonna like commit a crime. I'm gonna be an act of terrorism somewhere if I keep watching this. So, I should do a video where I rant about why do people think you can change the suspension. I watched that Doug DeMurio fella driving a Xantia Activa, and he's like, "Oh, you can change the suspension height when you're driving. You know, if you're on the freeway, you can drop the suspension." No, what moron has started all that? So, oh. Any thoughts on questionable car clubs BX? I don't know that one. Am I going to be at Rustival? I have been invited to Rustival. Yes, as a I think I can say, yeah, as a, well, that's Freddie. I've been invited as a participant. I think I'm kind of working ish. I don't know. But yes, I am planning to be there. What I'm in remains to be seen. I have a plan. Whether that plan will work or not, I don't know. But I plan to be in something. So, I'm really curious what would happen if one day one of my kids came up and said, "Dad, I have a confession to make. I want a Citroen Plurial." I know you're supposed to accept your children for who they are, whether it be their sexuality or whatever. You will always have their back, and they can tell me anything. I will always help them. But if they tell me they want a Plurial, they're dead to me. Simple. It could be a Nissan Juke or Nissan Joke. Puke or Joke? What do you reckon? Nissan Puke or Nissan Joke? Am I going to drive a GS or a GSA at some point? I don't know. I've never driven a GS. I not GSA. I don't like the looks and the interior as much. I love the early GS with like the swoopy dashboard and everything, and the chrome and or stainless as it probably is. Yeah, I'd love to have a go on one because Ian put Giselle on the dyno, and he was going on about how sweet the engine is, and I was unprepared for how smooth it was. It was kind of like the Imp kind of thing from the other day, the British Car Journey. Yeah, it was that sort of thing. It was like, wow, that really is smooth. So yeah, the engine stood out in Giselle. So yeah, I think I would be. Yeah, I'd be. Yeah, I would like to drive a GS. Yeah, nice early one though. As I say, nice, classy. 1200, 1220, is it? What's latest with Clement? We've done all the Clement chalk talk earlier on, but yeah, it's not. It does exist currently. Have I ever had a 2CV? No, no, I've never had a 2CV. I'd probably never buy one now because of the costs. But I would. That would probably put me into a Diane or an Ami or something, wouldn't it? I don't. I mean, I've never even driven one. So yeah, one day. Yeah, they look quite good fun. They do look quite good fun. Oh, right, there we go. Trying to catch up. What are the best production years for BXs? Depends what you want, really. It's subjective, isn't it? You can't say. I mean, you'd have to say you'd have to go for the year where the most amount of models were available and they'd iron the kinks out and the phase 2 Valva was in production because that is the coolest one. So you don't want a catalytic converter in them. I know we've got to look after the planet and everything, but like one BX ain't going to make a massive difference, is it? So I would go. You want, and you know, it's going to sound really knob-headed. You 1991, which, if funnily enough, is the year of my BX. So my 16 valve, or that's the registration year. So yeah, 90 between 90 and 91, not too far after than that, 92. The BX 16 valve started getting better and more efficient after that, which means it's less fun. Not much, but yeah, the engine got a bit smoother. So yeah, I think about 91, because then you can have a turbo diesel if you want. You can have an estate, you can have a hatch, you can have a 1.4, you can have 16 valve, you can have a TZI if you want to cruise. The only thing you can't have is a cushy one with the proper cushy seats. You'd have to have a TG model. TGD turbo would be quite a good one. Yeah. So yeah, 91, I reckon. Didn't I say I was going to drive something of Ian's if I let him drive Hilda? Was assuming it was Giselle. It's not Ian. Not saying I'm not going into that. That's going to be for you to find out. But no, it's I mean, Ian can drive Hilda. It's more a case of who makes videos and stuff. But yeah, no, the YouTuber swap is not Ian. I wouldn't go for Giselle. I'd go for Ellie anyway. I think I'd go for Ellie. That sounds dodgy. Where are we at? Where are we at? Have I caught up? I've caught up. Yes. Right. This daft heart thing is right in the way to read the chat. What heart thing? Must be setting on your screen or something like that. What about the CX? No one's mentioned CXs. I quite like them. Yeah, I do quite like them. Some of them are very pretty, but I don't think I'd ever get one because I don't. I'd want the engine to be nicer than it is. They really needed like a V6 in them or something, or the rotary that they were supposed to have. But what's my opinion on a BX Sport? I've never driven a BX Sport. They look quite funky, but any other funky BX, 16 valve tops them. So 16 valves on a different level, I would say. So that kind of. But I've never driven one, so it could be a lot of fun. Is there a fleet update? Not one coming at the moment because I kind of nothing's massively changed. But my BX is a 91, not a 16 valve, just a 1.4. Nothing wrong with the 1.4. They're an absolute riot. They're a lot of fun. Did I find out if Mark 1 BXs had fresh air vents directly from the engine bay? No, I didn't know I was supposed to. Was I? I don't think they have. No. No, they haven't. No, they haven't. They've got no BXs have that. You can't. The only BX that you can change. None of them have fresh air. All four vents on the dashboard are connected to the heater, unless the very very early, really basic Mark ones. I think some of them might not have had all of four of them connected, but yeah, I think yeah. There's not many of them have got recirc. Only the ones with aircon have got recirc. So, oh god, I've done something with the screen. Oh, hang on, I've changed my. I've gone back again. Oh, Ventures and Rust. Hello, Chris. If you're still there, you do know questionable car club. It's James who has the earliest P1 valve. Earliest. Oh, what? No, he's Carsole. Has he got two channels? Actually, no. I tell you what. No, I wouldn't be surprised. He probably has. He probably has. He's desperate for a sub. That one. Oh wow! Hang on. There's some big questions coming through. Would I drive Tuk? Yeah, not very fast. Looks quite rickety. But you've got to try these things. Going back to what you were saying earlier about not like being noticed in cars, I was looking at a yellow MG ZS until I thought I'd look like a Burke driving a yellow MG with a huge wing. Probably, but I quite like. I mean, I used to have an MG. I've had two MG ZSs. So, but neither of them were bright yellow. Although one of them was smashed up. It had been attacked with a coffee table. So it's a true story. I had a ZX 16 valve. Yeah, I think. No, I'd like to have another go in one because I think I've learnt more about cars, if you like, but they weren't. I just remember it not being as fun as a BX. It's very different. It's more like a Peugeot, very fast around corners, really good handling. Very stiff. Like the Volcan, if you ever see the Volcan was like a Saxo VTR, and the 16 valve was like a VTS. It was that kind of thing again. The 16 valve had all these kind of like bespoke things on it. I did like it, but I remember it was not quite as fast as a BX, and it wasn't as funky, and it wasn't, it just didn't have the character. But I did like it. I'd have another one. They're rare now, aren't they? You don't hardly any of them about now. What brands am I into outside of Citroen and TVR? I'm not in. I'm not like brand driven. They're just certain cars I like. So yeah, I'm not brand driven or anything like that. I wouldn't say. There's just certain cars I like. I quite like Alfa Romeos. Well, most of them. Some of them, most of them. there are various cars I like, really. There's Renaults I like. There are Hondas I like. There are Rovers I like. Just like what I like. So yeah, I haven't really got. I'm not. It's going to sound stupid saying this. I'm not brand loyal to Citroen. Like there are people who like it's all about the brand. Like and like there are people on the Facebook groups and things who like will just buy new ones because they can't buy anything else. And they kind of it's like tribal. They have to see it as they're fiercely loyal, and I'm like, well, fiercely loyal to a multi-billion pound corporation with like really rich shareholders and things. No, you're right. It's not a football club, or a family or something like that. It's just a huge company. And I used to like the products they made. I was bang into them. So, but I'm not really into anything they do now. So, not occasionally they'll do something, but yeah, I haven't really got any brand loyalty. I just some car. I mean, I've got a Hillman, haven't I? So, what does that mean? Another Veco. I'm just looking at pictures of cars. Yeah, it's mostly Citroens, isn't it? That I've got. So, but any plans to get myself an Aventime, or am I a Velsatis sort? Well, I've got a C6. So I don't really need a Velsatis because is it Satis or Satis? Probably a Velsatis, isn't it? I've got a C6, which is like a Velsatis, but better looking, I would say personally. Aventime, no, I've got no plans to. However cool the doors are, however cool some of the little features are and things, it's a people carrier with 4 seats. It's pointless. I mean, it's just the fact it exists. The world is better for it, but I have not got any need for it. So, but I do appreciate people who do, and it's nice. It makes you smile when you see one. So, where we at? Where we at? Hello, John. I hope you're well. Worked really hard on the channel. Much appreciated. Hey, thanks. It is hard work doing YouTube. Yeah, I mean, there are people out there who put in a lot of effort. The ironic thing is that the ones who make it big, and which will never be me because I'm not driven to do that really, but the ones who make it big have people who edit it and shoot it and everything for them. So the people, the ones you've really got to like, not appreciate because that kind of puts me in the same box, but the ones you've got to bear in mind. Anytime you ever leave a comment that's negative, or like, I mean, some of the stuff that people get. Steph had loads of bad stuff the other day, and it's just shit because like these people. Oh no, I do it myself. You shoot the footage, you go out in your own time, you shoot it, you edit it, you upload it, you do the thumbnail, you do everything, absolutely everything. Some people spend the money on the equipment. I don't know. I use my phone. I've given up cameras, but some people use spend big money on the equipment. They put a lot of effort into it for someone to like see it come up and go, oh, I don't like that, thumbs down. They didn't say what I wanted them to say. So yeah, I think the big ones where people film it for them, like I think I don't know, they don't work as hard, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. So yeah, you got to really appreciate the small channels because it's a lot of work. It really is a lot of work. I mean, someone like Ian who just drives around all over the place driving these cars. I know some YouTubers who they don't go anywhere to drive cars. They make people bring the car to them, which I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, nah, it's like you're letting me drive your car. I'll come to you. But yeah, someone like Ian will do that. He'll drive all over. Or like John, Auto Shenanigans. He'll drive all around the bloody country to go and film a motorway for people to watch a 7-minute video on a motorway. So it's a lot of work. It's a hell of a lot of work. Yeah, you got to appreciate. Oh, Shenanigans, he's here. How the devil are you? Yes, how the devil are you? Yeah, so it is a lot of work. Um, what's my thoughts on the Mark III Vauxhall Cavalier? Do you know my thoughts? My main thought is that you've asked a hell of a lot of questions. I'm now starting to wonder: are you going to clone my ID? Like, you soon you're going to be asking me what my blood type is. Well, jokes on you. I don't know. Um, yeah, my thoughts on the Mark III Vauxhall Cavalier. I think the GSI 2000 is a fantastic looking car. Um, they're good cruisers. They're good motorway cruisers. I quite like them. I don't dislike them. I like the SRI, kind of like the K Reg, J Reg, stuff like that. What had it done to the coffee table? Oh, this is the MG. No, it was a. I bought it off a man in Worthing, and his ex girlfriend or ex wife went mad, literally, and took a big heavy coffee table and attacked his Pride and Joy MG with it. Every single panel was battered. But I'd love to have that car now. Be a great little car to put on the channel. Um, yeah, I really liked it. They're just too bumpy. They're too bumpy for everyday use. They're like they handle well. The engine's a lot of character. Right little hooligan car. The ZS 180 is a proper little hooligan car. A lot of fun. Nice steering. Nice driving position. Good soundtrack. They're just good fun in an old school way. But they're getting thin on the ground. So, and they're just so bumpy. It's like at Primera, I had a Primera GT, P10 Primera GT. It's the same thing. So it goes around corners quite well. It's like what it would do. It's got no suspension. I'm sure around a racetrack it's lovely, but like around Hampshire it was awful. So, what's the mileage on the VTR and my old VTS? A very specific question, Marcus. Are you? Do you know someone? Are you the guy who someone googled the reg number on the Saxo earlier because they were like, there was a mileage discrepancy in your. Yeah, it's had different clocks. That's why. Before my missus even had it. I've also got a TVR. I do have a TVR. Yes, I do love a TVR. Not all TVRs. Some of them I'm not really that keen on, but yeah, I appreciate a TVR. I really should get it on the road just to drive it about. Any views on the Pure Tech engine? Well, all I've heard is bad stuff, so I imagine awful. Is YouTube my favorite? Oh God, is YouTube my full-time job? No, no. This is the thing. JM wrote something, or yeah, he wrote something a little while back. He said that trying to do YouTube part-time when you've got a full-time job would be suicidal. It's hard work. Because if you don't, the thing is, YouTube's like, oh, if take a break, like if you're getting a bit of creator burnout or whatever, because you're really busy doing something else as well, take a break. We'll all be waiting for you and everything. And then all the amazing people in the comments say the same thing. They go, take a break. I mean, amazing. The channel members and patrons and stuff are just legends because they're just like, no, whatever, just come back when you want. There's no expectation. But YouTube are talking bollocks because if you don't do anything for like 2 weeks, that algorithm thing you just fall off it. And unless everyone's got all the little bell ticked and everything to get every notification you do, then you'll never know you've done anything. It just drops you. The whole way it works is really odd. I mean, like I did that video on the Picasso on the Rolling Road. That's my highest viewed video and it got to 92,000, which for me is sky high. And it shot up so fast. It was like this. It was going up. It was jumping like 4,000 or 5,000 a day, which is a lot for me. After the first couple of days, most of them do like I think like 5,000 or 6,000 now is my kind of normal. So anything above that is done well, and anything below that is fallen flat a little bit. And it went like this, and then it went up to 92,000 and stopped completely. And I'm just looking at that going, bollocks. You telling me how many people are there in the world? You telling me that it was 92,000 that wanted to see it, and now they've all seen it? It's this algorithm thing. That's Freddie. Someone sent me a message. Is that someone on the chat? No. What is my blood type? I don't know. Red. Yeah, I can't remember. I was ranting then, wasn't I? Have I ever driven a multipla? No. I don't dislike them, but I wouldn't want one. But I get. I'd have a Honda FRV. So I quite like the dashboard in those. Imps make you smile more. Imps are amazing. Everyone should go to that place and drive that imp. I mean, don't get me wrong, it rattles like hell. It's really knocky and rattly. But the engine, mint, absolutely mint. Yeah, people don't realize how long YouTube content production takes. And there are a lot of people out there who put a hell of a lot of time and effort into making YouTube videos and get very little back out of it. And I probably, right, this is getting annoying now. Yeah, there are people out there who put so much effort in and then just get like nothing at the end of it. And it's really, it's hard to watch for them, I think, because there are some people out there like me. Well, I've come in and kind of just don't even take it seriously. Just like, yeah, I'll just do that. Well, I say I don't take it seriously. I'm doing merch and everything now, but for them, but I'm putting in a lot less effort than they are and getting more out of it. Because it's a part-time job for me. It's a job now, but it's a part-time job. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but you've got to enjoy it. If you, I think some people, I watch some channels and you can see people in it, and like what they want to do, what they want to achieve, they know where they want to be and what they want to get out at the end of it, but they've not put any thought into what they're actually doing to get there. That they want to be a big full-time YouTuber and be famous. Great, okay. How are you doing that? What are you doing? What content are you putting out? And it's just like garbage every week, or not even every week. So you kind of think, yeah, people don't realize how much work it is. The thing I've learned about YouTubing is like not to judge a channel by how many subscribers it's got, because a lot of people will fall into that trap. No one in here will, because they're watching this and I've only got like low numbers, but yeah, I think like some of the best ones out there are just they just haven't hit the right button on the algorithm. It's a horrible treadmill that you have to keep going on. It's like a hamster wheel. If you stop running, you get thrown off it. So it's kind of, yeah, it's not the nicest thing in some ways, but it's a lot of fun in others. Things like that Great British Car Journey Day the other day was a lot of fun. You get to meet cool people like Mr. Auto Shenanigans and catch up with people, and it's interesting as well, how different people approach it and stuff. So yeah, I can't remember what the question was. Oh yeah, people don't realize how long it takes. That's not even a question, is it? Everyone's talking about John now. No, come back to me. Thank you, Tim. That's very kind. For the C6 fund. I'm surprised it's still about. That's very rude. But glad it is. It's, yeah. No, yeah, I love the C6. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's just, I can't keep driving. I'm going to make one of the videos coming up soon is me going to be ranting because the tax on the C6 is going up to £740 a year. It does like 3,000 miles a year. And then there'll be someone out there driving around 12,000 miles in a C1 or something, paying 30 quid a year. But they put out more CO2 than I have because they're doing 12,000 miles a year. So, yeah, the system is bollocks. It's just so unfair. And I can say that because this stream isn't monetized, so you can say what you want. People want to write things in there that aren't PC, crack on. It's not going to get demonetized because I didn't monetize it. Joke's on you, YouTube. About to go and see Mel C at her after party in London. Ooh, look at me name checking. I'd be more interested to know if Paul O'Neill was there. Man's a legend. I don't know why people feel the need to leave nasty comments either. I mean, I've had a few last week or so. I've had more recently than I would normally get, and normally they don't bother me. Like some people, they'll bother a lot. Some people, they will just be water off a duck's back. I'm not really that fussed. I don't get many of them, so I'm quite fortunate. But the one I had one this week, and it was like I just literally woke up in the morning, and you pick up the phone, and someone's calling you something or other, and you're like, "Oh right, great, nice one." And you're just like, "Why?" Well, yeah, would this spineless keyboard warrior say that face to face? No, they wouldn't. So, and you just you tell yourself what you you don't tell yourself. You should tell yourself what you tell other people, which is like people will only say something nasty if they're jealous. You know, imagine even there's someone jealous out there of me, but like Steph had loads the other day, some real horrible stuff, and I said to her, it's you're winning, you're out there doing something, winning at something, and they're not, and they know they're not, and it eats them inside, so they fight outwards. So yeah, you do get scumbags out there. I've got no issue with criticism as long as it's constructive and not wrong. If you're gonna criticize someone in the comments or something like that, make sure you've got the facts on your side, because if you don't, you look a right tit. So make sure you've got the facts on your side. But yeah, no, I don't get why. Yeah, it has a hell of a lot of work, and that's exactly it. If you don't like something, don't click on it. Fine. I watched a video earlier on. I can't remember what it was now. Watched something earlier on. I thought this is absolute crap. So just stop watching it. I know, novel concept. Auto shenanigans, a question excluding the Saxo, the 106, the Saxo. What Puge out would you own? There's a few actually. I've had a 106 rally, so I don't need one of them. The 405 MI16 is awesome, but I do have a car with that engine already. I had a 406 coupe V6, although it just got broken for bits, but I did have one. 306 rally, maybe. I don't know. I've got a hankering for a 205 XS or like a 205 GT, like the 5-door 1.4. 205s are huge fun. I wouldn't have a 205 GTI out of principle because I'm a BX16 valve lover. So 205 GTI is the enemy, but maybe a 205 XS or GT or a 306 GTI 6. Really good looking cars and really good to drive. But also, a 405 MI16 would be nice. Yeah, probably one of those. Or that would go older. Get that. What's that really pretty coupe they did? Oh, where's Ian when you need him? There's that lovely coupe they did. That sleek thing with a V6 in it. One of them. Salvage Rebuilds UK is a big channel. They do all their own filming and editing. Yeah, some of them do. But then we say that they do all their own filming and editing. So that's a team of people. So they're not paying someone to come in and do the editing and filming and things like that. Fair play. But it's a team of people. Whereas some people out there, like the man John here, like Steve, 16 Valve, when he does them, should do more. But when he does them, it's him doing it. And that's really when it eats the time up. It really does. But yeah, I know what you mean. There are legit. I mean, like we saw that UK barn finds up at. I didn't even know they had a YouTube channel. It's way bigger than mine. But I thought it was a big like Facebook page. They were up at that Great British Car thing. Nice people. And they've got a there's two of them, so they're doing it as a team. Mind you, I say that my wife does the merch, the sticker posting, the envelopes. Look, I've got a load of them here, and they've got the numbers on now to say what car they were delivered in. So these are going in the C6. Some of them are from last year. I'm very sorry. Been busy, but yes, so I do have help. Would I have an ST200 over a ZS 180? I've had both of those. I have had a Mondeo ST200 and I've had a ZS 180. The ZS 180 is quicker. It's more fun. It's less grown up. The Mondeo is more grown up. Mondeo rusts worse. Mondeo rides better. Ride handling balance. The handling on the ZS is probably better. But if you take the ride into account, the Mondeo's got the balance better. I really need to change that. I don't know if you can hear Freddie Mercury on my phone every time I get a notification. Do you know, right now, if someone said to me, you can have one, I've got a Mint ST200 and a Mint ZS 180, you can have one of them. Which one do you want? I'd have the ZS 180. So. Oh, no, I didn't realise it hadn't reset. I'm miles behind on the comments again. Damn it. Hang on. I need to speed up. Damn. So the Great Kitsch reset happens. What equivalent cars am I picking to replace the fleet? Steve's law states you're not allowed to replace with the same mark. Ooh. I don't know. I'd probably have some old British classic in place of the Imp that I enjoy driving, and like some of the old British classics you drive and they're a bit crap, and then others you drive and you think, whoa, that's actually really good. I've never driven a Rover P6, but I reckon that would be good. And likewise, something like a Dolly Sprint, and then like it would probably be Alfa. It's boring, isn't it? But it would probably be Alfa Romeo and Honda. Quite like Hondas. Haven't had enough Hondas really, but I quite like Hondas. So, but then I could just get Peugeots and get like the Peugeot versions of the Citroens. I can't do that with the proper Citroens, but I can do it for most of them. What do I think of the Peugeot RCZ? The best thing I've heard about the Peugeot RCZ, and I don't actually hold it against it at all, but I heard people call it the Audi TT, which made me laugh. Because there's nothing wrong with Audi. It's a good shop. They sell good own brand stuff. And the Peugeot RCZ is better looking than an Audi TT. That's my opinion. I wouldn't have one because of the engines. Garbage engines in them. And there's no point having one anyway. I mean, like, what the hell do I do with it? The back seat. How big are the back seats? Can't fit anyone in it. Mel C is 50 years old. Sorry, this is more important now, isn't it? Is she? How old's Jerry then? She's the one I used to like. Oh man, I feel old. 50? She doesn't look 50. Wow. Okay. Well, that took a detour, didn't it? Has that Imp still got its gearbox? What, the one at Great British Car Journey? I couldn't possibly comment. Good evening, Zetos GT. Is that a car or something? Is it Zetos GT? Oh, a Mazda Zedos 6. I like those. Yeah, Mazdas. I don't mind some Mazdas. You've got to hand it to Auto Shenanigans. He won't like people talking about him. You've got to hand it to Auto Shenanigans. Most channels are based around things that people have an interest in. John chose something of no interest and turned it into essential viewing. I think the thing that, and he might admit that, I don't know, he might agree, he might not. The impression I get is that he didn't actually choose. He just thought, oh, what can I make a video on? And just think random things. And he probably has in the past put more effort into other subjects that haven't done anything like as well. And I think started doing those, thinking like, maybe some people will watch it. And it has blown up because he's got the balance right. He's got the like I couldn't do what he does because I'd end up making half-hour videos on motorways and people would get bored. He's got the amount of humor, the length, the format, blah blah blah. If you nail it, that's what happens. So yeah. I mean, but what's he going to do now? He's run out of motorways. Hey, John, what are you going to do? So I'm interested to know. TVR, yes. Citroen, yes. And if me, Subaru. Thoughts? Not mad on. I don't mind Subarus. Don't really do a lot for me. I quite like I like the 22B. If I won the lottery, I'd probably buy a 22B. But otherwise, yeah, not really massively into them. You don't need four-wheel drive, do you? That's the point. Like everyone's got four-wheel drive. They're all four-wheel drive cars, and it's like I don't need four-wheel drive. I live in Hampshire. I don't need it. Low subscribers, not as low as mine. Well, look, yes, but generally, I mean, 100,000 subs is classed as a small channel by most people. To me, it's like that's huge. But yeah, I think personally, if you see someone who's got like 1,000, they've got 500, whatever, give them, I think it's not a reflection on how good they are because there are also channels out there with a lot of subscribers and they're just pumping out guff. So yeah, I don't pay any attention to how many subscribers the channel's got, to be honest. And you'll probably find that the less they've got, unless they're trying really hard to get more, the less they've got, the more genuine they are. So I think, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. It doesn't have a direct influence on like how much you earn. It might have an indirect one, but yeah, the most direct thing is people starting to watch a video and watching it all the way to the end. That's what you can have 3 subscribers. If you get a decent amount of views on each video because people like the video, all the subscribers do is mean they're more likely to see the next one. So, and possibly something to do with the algorithm. Would I convert one of my cars to electric? That's been asked a few times this time. C6, yeah, the C6 would make a good electric car because it's quiet. And yeah, no, I would. I'm not going to because it costs a fortune. But yeah, that would make sense, the C6 being electric. Currently rebuilding a Saxo VTS. Very happy to see another Citroen enthusiast. It's really a Peugeot, isn't it? Saxo, but yeah, no, good, good to see people rebuilding VTSs and stuff. VTS, love it. I pay £300 plus to drive a 2-litre Saab. Yeah, well, I did. Well, I had a 2-litre Saab, which was was it a 2-litre? Yeah, it was a 2-litre badge as a 1.8, but the C6, yeah, it's awful. The tax is a joke. It's an absolute joke. I mean, to be honest, I will probably. I don't know. I don't know if I can keep justifying driving it next year, but I'm just enjoying it while I drive it. It should be on a sliding scale per mile. Yeah, 100%. The road fund tax. It should be done based on mileage. So like the car you've got and the number of miles between MOTs. I guess the thing people would say then is they'd be like, well, people can fudge that, and it's like, well, yeah, they can, but people. There's a guy in the C6 world who doesn't tax his car. because his logic is that he might get fined £1,000, but if he makes it more than 14 months without getting caught, he's quids in. So it's hard to argue that. I'm not one of them. Like, I think like, nah, people should pay their way. You shouldn't cheat. Not because you don't want to be like breaking the rules, but just because other people pay their way, you should pay your way. All this kind of thing. But when they're taking the piss out of you and trying to charge you 750 quid to drive a diesel Citroen 4,000 miles a year, then you think, right, hang on, there's more rules, and then now you're attacking me. So yeah, I don't know. But I can completely negate that by driving around in the Imp, which is free to tax and pumps out God knows what out the exhaust. But then, joke's on me, isn't it? It's yeah, environment and all that. 309 G. Yeah, I like a 309 GTI. Yeah, I don't think I'd have one if I had others. Yeah, no, maybe. Yeah, I'd have a 5-door. I don't like the 3-door ones as much. I'm not mad into 3-door cars because the doors end up being massive. I like smaller doors. And like, it's just a pain in the arse having you give anyone a lift. You have to get out and like fold the seat forward. It's a pain. I don't get the point of 3-door. I mean, I don't think you can get 3-door cars much anymore, but I don't really get the point of them. Like, what advantage do you have with a hatchback if you haven't got 5 doors? What's the advantage? I mean, there isn't one. But that 205 automatic I drove sounded awesome. It did, although he's taken it apart. I no, not taking it apart. I think he's selling it. It did sound nuts. I think he's taken those carbs off of it. It might be the 504 coupe. Yeah, God, I've got a lump. I've gone behind again. Let me just try and roughly catch up. I'm just going to jump forward a little bit. Buy a Mark II Focus ST and turn it into an estate. Did you see there was a fella on PistonHeads who did, in the Reader's Cars thing, he had like a Mark II Focus Estate LX or something. It's just some crap looking, just dark doom blue, just miserable spec Focus, and he put all the running gear from an ST into it. And he needed all the mods, the dials, and but didn't make it look like an ST. Just kept it looking like it still had steelies. It had a slightly bigger exhaust made, but it still had a little like tailpipe that pointed downwards. And yeah, it was quality, and I really like that. But I wouldn't do it. That's not the Ford way. The Ford way to do it would be to paint it bright orange and put a massive body kit on it and stickers everywhere and RS this and ST that and shout about it. But I really like that guy on PistonHeads, the way he did it. He did it really well. Very, very looked like rubbish. He put like a roof rack on it, and yeah, it just looked like garbage. And had about 250 horsepower, I think. So, Auto Shenanigans says, "Where my JDM car?" My JDM car. I don't know what you mean. What would be my JDM car? Probably. I love NSXs, but not all JDM. The Civic Type R, the EK, the bug eye one with the 1.6 in white, like the championship trophy, or no, championship white or whatever it is. Probably something like that. BMW 640D, not really my thing. If I do the reset, I don't mind some BMWs. but not really into that era of Beamer. I don't mind. I think the last one they did that I didn't mind was I don't mind the E60 5 Series. Or the E90 3 Series. They're all right. And I like the Z4. I like the dashboard. I'm not mad on the looks are all right, but I just love the interior in them. Is it lagging or something? Ian Fisher's here. Ian Fisher is the only person, I believe, who bought every mug. He bought all the mugs there were, so he's got every design going. A Peugeot 1007 is a pretty pointless car. Yeah. Yeah, Rover 620 Ti. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Jerry is 54. Ginger Spice is 54. Why is she a gold digger? Why is Jerry Halliwell? What? Because she's married to bloody Christian Horner. I think she's probably got a few quid herself, to be fair. I didn't have a Mazda 3, no. Hey, Matthew Mewis is a channel member. He's in. He can go in there and see all the stuff that I don't do. Oh, Jerry Halliwell's getting younger and younger. And she's 52, now she's 51. They're all Old Spice now. Secrets of the auto routes. I said to him, you should go to France because the motorways over there are mint, but I suppose it is a bit of a faff, isn't it? Yeah, Rover SD1. I went in the Rover SD1 once. Remember, it rattled a lot, but it was a pretty car. Rode quite well. If anyone hasn't watched Howard Hand's Spice Girls documentary, it's highly recommended. Well, I'll have to check it out. Oh, excuse me. I need to watch that Post Office one. We started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Did Parks and Rec, then started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine because we just wanted something that, that'll be all right 20 minutes ago. And like, can't get enough of it now. I love it. It's brilliant. Hello, Mechanic Garage. The C6 is very quiet as it is. It is. It's not as quiet as people make out, I don't think. But then it's not as smooth as people make out either. I mean, it's good. It is smooth. It is quiet, but it's not magic. I think the people set the bar up there, and it's like, it's not quite as high as that. Hey, Seaside's there. How many hours left? 25. I've been on a long time. I've been on a long time. 2 hours. Christ. You say the Saxo is a Peugeot, but it shares a platform with a 106. It's still an AX underneath. Yeah, it is. But that's Peugeot DNA though. That whole design, that kind of setup they use with that suspension and everything, the DNA of that is Peugeot's influence. So I think Peugeot were using Citroen as a test bed, I reckon. Because they used to say put the ZX out first, then the Xantia, BX before the 405, Xantia before the 406. So to me, I would say that Peugeot were like, well, let's put it out in a Citroen and see how it floats. Oh yeah, floats. Get it? Yeah. If anything, Peugeot's a rebadged Citroen. I mean, technically not, but I get where you're coming from. I am far behind, aren't I? I need to just give it a hang on. Right, I need to give it a blitz again to catch up. Yeah, no, I'm behind here. Right. Blah, 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 blah. See, there's a 2.2 litre manual C6 on eBay, cheaper tax. I wonder how it compares to the 2.7, apart from 2 fewer cylinders. They're really expensive. So, like, the tax might be cheaper, but people are stupid money for the 2.2s and the 3 litres and things. So it's like you might as well just get the 2.7 and stomach the tax. Watch out, Rich, your main Citroen fixing rival has entered the chat. What, Seaside? No, Seaside's in a different country, so he's fine. It's all right. Well, technically, I suppose Whitelands are in a different country, aren't they? But the Great Citroen waft off. You only pay road tax in the UK if the car is used in public roads. Yeah. You only tax it if you use it. If it's off the road, you state that it's off the road, and then there's no charge. A good coupe is a joy. I grew up with Capris, so my judgment may be off, says Alec Bickerton. No, see, a coupe is different. Yeah, I mean, I should say that. So, like, when I say 3 doors don't make sense, I mean hatchbacks. Like, I mean, a Ford Focus. Why? What's the advantage of it being 3 door? What's the 3 door got that's good about it that the 5 door doesn't? The thing with 3 doors, if it's a Focus or something like that, is the doors end up being huge, which means when you go to get out of it in a car park, you have to have an acre next to you to be able to open the door. And if you have a crash, if you get T-boned or something, the B pillar is like way back there, so you're just relying on the door. And the seatbelt ends up being miles away, so you're kind of like, I don't get the point of them, to be honest. But yeah, coupe is different, isn't it? Like something like a Calibra or a 406 or I don't know, coupes. But yeah, that kind of thing. Mazda MX-6, yeah, that's a different kind of car. Everything's set lower down, different kind of driving position. I get that more. Pillarless doors. If it's not got pillarless doors, it can get out. If it's a coupe, it's got to have pillarless doors. So yeah, I would say that they make more sense. Where did I get the Citroen banner from in the background? I bought it off someone and I stuck it up because the window was reflecting really badly. So just bought it off a guy on Facebook. What am I going home in tonight? It would be the C6. Readers' wives, I thought it was an ST, not a Fiesta. It's Escort, wasn't it? All the celebs in the chat now. You're very far behind. This will come through late, but yes, what's the JDM car of choice? You've never mentioned owning any Jap stuff. Yeah, I got very close to buying another car recently. I talked myself out of it. I was going to buy myself a daily, and realised that although it would be fun, it's silly. I was looking. Well, I shouldn't say just in case I ever buy one, but I was looking at Jap cars as well. And yeah, I kept getting veering towards like Hondas. So yeah, I think if it was a proper JDM car, probably that EK Civic Type R will probably be the one I'd want. But I mean, when you say JDM, it's like I think a car that you couldn't get in the UK. So like, if you could get a UK version of it, then it doesn't really count because like, well, they could buy one of those anyway. But like that Civic Type R, the EK shape, you couldn't get those over here. And I think they had like limited slip diffs and they had that 1600 engine in them. And yeah, I really like those. I think they'd be a right laugh. But I've had a Primera GT. I had an MR2, the Mark II, which doesn't handle. I had a Prelude, second gen Prelude 2 litre 16. I'd have another one of those in a heartbeat, but they've not many left and they're getting quite expensive now. So yeah, Prelude. I mean, well, okay, so I can admit that one. I very, very nearly bought a Prelude a few weeks ago. In fact, there were 2 Preludes to sell, and I very nearly went and bought one of them. So, and I haven't gone back to check. if it's still there, because it was getting quite cheap. But it's stupid. I shouldn't do it. I wanted it, and it's like life's too short. But it's like, no, you've got enough cars, and they don't all work. Don't go buying anything else until you've sorted that out. Maybe except the SM, because that's an ongoing thing. But yeah, if I've not got a working imp and TVR and BX 16 valve, which I need to get out of the garage at home, then I should not be buying anything else. You know, especially if the C6, I'm using that daily. Or we've got two other cars on the road. You know, the Saxo's on the road and the S Max is on the road. I shouldn't be buying something else. But I really wanted that Prelude. I really, really wanted that Prelude. So. Oh, there we go. There we go. Read faster. I'm trying. My head doesn't go like my head doesn't compute things faster. I really annoy myself. I annoy myself. Annoy my missus because she'll say something and I'll be there like processing, and it's really frustrating for other people. But I'm just slow. I can see me as a bit of a Ron Swanson. Ron Swanson is my spirit animal. Nice shirt with the Citroen SM for Sadomasochist. Well, yes, that should be its nickname, shouldn't it? One of the people off Brooklyn Nine-Nine died the other week. Andre Braugher, the man who played Captain Holt, yes, which is sad because he's the best character on it and probably the best actor on it. There was a video that got shared on Facebook or something the other day, and it was like when you get a Shakespearean qualified actor to be in a silly sitcom, you get stuff like this, and then it had his like best bits and stuff, and it's just crying with laughter because it's just the way he delivers lines and stuff. You have to watch it. I can't explain it. Yeah, deadpan. Not even. It goes beyond deadpan. It's brilliant. So it's a real shame. Yeah, he was only 60 something. So yeah, real shame that. But he was in something else. I don't know what it was, but I googled him. I didn't want to Google him much because I didn't want to get spoilers on the program because I haven't finished the series yet. But he was in something else like a while back, like 20 odd years ago or something like that, where he was a cop, but it was the opposite. He wasn't like a straight base cop. He was like a kind of rogue one. But I saw clips of that. I can't remember what it was called, and it looked really good in that. That really, really did look good. So I need to find that. Right, yeah, there is a hell of a lot of lag. Right, what I'm going to do, I've not got a huge amount of time. I'm going to switch the chat over to top chat only, which means some of your messages will not be seen. But if you're someone who's been writing tons and tons and tons, it will drop you out maybe, because otherwise I'm not keeping up. So I've changed it to top chat. So if I've not read anything that you've written, I'm all right. I'm actually I'm used to doing 25 hours, aren't I? So 2 hours 15. Yeah, it's easy. But yeah, I'm not ignoring it. It's just I'm not keeping up. So I've now put it on top chat only. So YouTube will decide if you're worthy. Wasn't my C4 a 3-door? Yeah, I had a C4 VTS 180 coupe. They didn't do a VCS 5-door. You had to have a 3-door. And in fairness, the C4, the 3-door and the 5-door are totally different shapes. So it wasn't like the same car. It was, well, they called it a C4 coupe. It wasn't a coupe. It was a hatchback. Yeah, Marina coupe, short doors. Yeah. Yeah. So I think, the C4 was a 3, but it had those problems of the stupidly massive doors and things. So Subaru SVX, yay! Oh, very much, yay! Yeah. I do like those. I've got the MB6 Civic. See, I don't like MB6 Civic with the B18 SB9. Mate, this is a problem I have with Japanese cars and to an extent German cars is the people who are into them. I'm not knocking you. This is just an observation. The people who are into them, everything's just referred to by codes. And there's me saying EK Civic, but like I know it's an EK Civic. I know the EG, EK, EP, and what's that other one? FN, is it? The funky looking one that apparently wasn't actually that good. Yeah, I don't know what an MB Civic 6 Civic is, but I did know that some of them have the same gearbox as the Rovers. So so is that the Civic that's the same shape as the Rover 400, the UK built one, but with yes, with an 1800 VTEC in it. Yes, you've probably answered this further down, but yes, I think I know which one you mean. The ZS 180. I watched the Danny DC2 video the other day because he's into his Hondas, and he said, and I've heard this before from other people. Apparently, the ZS 180 and that kind of era have got the best Honda spec suspension, like the multi-link suspension and everything. It's like Integra Type R level, apparently. So Subaru XT. That's the funky two-door saloony one, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I think they're a bit ugly, but doesn't bother me, to be honest. Car hasn't got to be good looking. It's just got to be interesting. It can be ugly and interesting, or it can be really pretty and interesting. They're the ones that got like a asymmetrical steering wheel, haven't they? They've got like a big spoke in the middle, and then a single spoke that comes off the side, if I remember rightly, and like a mental dashboard. They've basically like picked up a Citroen brochure and gone, we will do what they're doing, but we're Japanese, so it's going to have 3 times as many buttons, and it will talk to you, and they have got like active. They've got adjustable damping or something like that. They're mental. I mean, the Japanese are up there. Like I always think the French were the best engineers up until probably the mid-70s. Coincidentally, when the SM went off, no, probably like mid to late 70s. I think the French were up. Oh no, is that a bit late? Maybe 60s. But I think the Japanese picked it up in the 80s. And to be honest, I don't think anyone's surpassed them. I think they're on it. I've stumbled across Dank Shiz. I like that name. I've stumbled upon an XM estate for sale, 2.1 diesel auto in top spec, black leather, everything. If ever comes the time to replace my current 96 Hyundai Elantra estate, 1.8, that would be it. Looks great. That's quite a change from a Hyundai Elantra estate. Although the XM is probably less rare than a Hyundai Elantra estate. Is that the curvy looking one? The Abishu Pessima style. BeamNG people will get that. Yeah. I think I've seen that XM actually. If it's a bit of a slightly ropey looking one that needs a bit of love, I think I know the one. Have I ever run a 306? No, I haven't. But I've had ZXs and Zaras, so effectively I have. Except I haven't had one that looks as good as a 306. Excited but nervous about my first French car. Nothing to be nervous about. 306s are simple cars, reliable. They ride fantastically. The ride is so good. The handling. The only thing you've got to make sure of is look for rust up. Whatever mate say you had to look up in the rear arches at the top, kind of behind where the seatbelt mounts are. Apparently, there's a hidden bit up there. They rust up there quite badly, and it's an absolute nightmare to put right, and it's quite well hidden. So you've got to look at that. And the rear axle on them is self-steering. So like they haven't actually got four-wheel steering, but basically when the car leans, the bushes deflect, and it makes the wheels turn the same way as the front wheels. So if the front wheels turn this way, the car leans, and the rear wheel deflects slightly that way. They called it I think they just called it passive rear wheel steering. The ZX had it, Zara, Xantia 405, I think, but it's done on the bushes. It's just the whole subframe just deflects slightly. But if those bushes wear, they are really tail happy. Like, you change the bushes. Celebs only chat now. Yeah, no, it's not celebs only chat. It's basically like most people have top chat on. I had all comments because then I didn't want it. But I think all it does is it picks that when people leave comments on the videos, it's if it thinks they're abusive or something like that, it puts them by and it's like held for a review. So there's the algorithm goes through the comments and anything it thinks, oh, that's just spam, it just puts it to one side. And occasionally someone will write something legit and it gets put in spam, and then I'll have to go, eventually I'll go and find it and then find all the insults in there with it. So yeah, I think all it's doing really is filtering out what it thinks might be spam. I don't know, but what gen prelude was it? Oh god, I'm quite far behind, aren't I? Oh no, I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. It was well, there was two. There was a 5th gen and a 4th gen. So see you later. I can't even pronounce your name. Sorry, I'm terrible. Is it Zhao? Zhao Serra Oliveira. Do I only know EK Civics from MCM? Marvel Cinematic Universe? No, that's MCU. Multiverse. Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. I don't know what MCM is. The Swindon Civic, yeah, that's the one. Vectra GSI. I can't imagine they drive amazingly. I've not driven a GSI. I've driven others, and they're a bit stodgy, but I think they look okay actually. I quite like the mirrors on them. Mr. Mocky is off. See you later, Mr. Mocky. The Lantra looks a little bit like a Toyota Camry Estate, does it? Yes, the bubbly, supposedly aerodynamic one. Saab had a form of rear-wheel steering like that. I wouldn't have thought so because I mean they might have had a system that did that, but the Peugeots and the Citroens, it's the whole subframe, the whole assembly moves. So it's, I don't expect the Saab to. Well, it might have done, but normally it's the arms that deflect. Hopefully this keeps going for hours. It's not going to keep going for hours. I'm going longer than I thought I was going to. Hooks on Classics has left and come back. Spam. I really want a 5th gen, but the base spec. Right, so the 4th gen that I saw, right, okay. So the 4th gen Prelude was a K-Reg in like a magenta, wheel trims, 2-litre automatic, and with like 80,000 miles on it. Totally original. And all that had happened was the no, I have to say sorry. I've caught up now. Yeah, I have to say sorry. I was just joking. Like, I've been on there that long. Someone's managed to leave and come back. Yeah, the Prelude was like a 2-litre I automatic, and all it needed was an MOT, and the catalytic converter had gone. Apparently, the catalytic converters on old Hondas are worth a lot. So the whatever you want to call them, scumbags, they nick them. But you can buy a non-genuine cat for like 100 quid. So I was tempted, but I didn't do it in the end. And there was a 2.2 VTEC 5th gen with the Motegi, whatever it is, kit, which I love. Saw one at Radwood, and it was my favourite car at Radwood. There was a maroon magenta-y 5th gen Prelude there. One of these days, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, but I need to just get some of the other stuff done first. I've got too many projects and not enough normal cars. I need to turn some of the projects back into actual just working cars. So, which I am now doing. I know it's a bit boring, but that's what I'm doing. Yeah, well, I was going to daily it. If I got it, I was going to daily it. Apparently, they rot like crazy. I said to him, "Is it rot? Is it rotten or anything like that?" And he says it's got a bit of rust around the sunroof because it had the tin sunroof on it, so it wasn't a glass panel. It just had like a metal panel sunroof and a bit around the rear arches. But I had a Prelude before, and I remember how bad it was, and look for rust. And I thought it's going to be a nightmare, isn't it? So the sensible side of me went, no, walk away, and I walked away. But it would have been so cool. I'm so sad. I got so excited when I saw it. It kept jumping out at me every time I went back on Facebook. What do I think to the 1.9 TDIPD? What, like a Volkswagens and stuff? Don't really know anything about. I'm not really got much huge amount of interest in them, to be honest. The only one I've been looking at recently is the Audi A2s with the 3-cylinder diesel engine in. And I looked at a couple of them online and thought, 35 quid a year to tax. But I don't think I can get an A2. I know they're really clever. I know they're really cool. I know they're daring. I know it's everything Audis normally aren't. It's like it's out there. It's like it's proper engineering. It's advanced. It's ahead of its time. But man, look at it. It looks like a toaster. So, yeah, I was going to. But I didn't do it. If I parked a Prelude round here, West Reading, it would probably immediately be stolen. Yeah, Reading's not the nicest place, is it? Can't scrap Vecchi or cat's protection will get him jailed. There's 2 cats. There's another cat. There's a ginger cat out there now. So it's going to go down. It's going to kick off. Going to get territorial on each other. Experience on Peugeot 206 GTIs. I have limited a bit of experience. My sister had a 206 GTI. Was it a late one? Yeah, quite a late. I think it was like an 05 plate. But it wasn't the 180. It was just the normal 2-litre. And then, which was all right. Didn't really drive it much. Don't like you sit too high in them. Sit too high up. And then I haven't had a 180. I know the 180s go all right. I had that engine in the C4. So that engine in a 206, I imagine would go quite well. But it didn't go brilliantly well in the C4 because it was like 1,350 kilos with a Revy 4-pot with not a lot of torque. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not mad on them, to be honest. They're all right, but I've not got experience. I've not got a lot, and the engine in those is not it's the EW engine, so it's not an XU. It's kind of based on an XU, but they're a bit heavy on the oil and things, so I wouldn't get one. Basically, I'd have the 306. 100%, I'd have the 306 over one of those. Now you've got me looking for Prelude. Yeah, do it. Go for it. Buy it, because then I can't do it. The seat, yeah, the seat. It's an MG Montego seat. I've got 2 of them. There's one over there as well. Mr. Auto Shenanigans has sat on that one, so that one's worth more. and Hubnut has sat on that, and who else came down? Yeah, and all the people that went in the car that came out of. What's the plan with the SM? I do believe you have one. Scroff, yeah, Scroff. To fix it and make it a car. That's my plan. Make it and then drive it to where we're going to drive it. Amalfi Coast. That's the plan. Be a long way off. Unpopular opinion: an A2 looks like a shrunken Zara Picasso. Does it though? Some similarities, I suppose. I think the Zara Picasso looks better than an Audi A2. And anyone who knows me, if I turn around and say I think a Zara Picasso looks better than something, then that something is really not a looker. I like the A2, and I may well get one day. I tried to get one ages ago when my kids were in school, and they would have to have been dropped off in it, and they vetoed it. They were like, "No, I'm not going in that." So, and I saw one come the other day, and I said to my missus, "Look, it's an A2." And as it went past, I was like, "It's just horrible." So yeah, but I do want to not care enough. Maybe as I get older, I might not care more and more. That's a sensible question. What's with the sensible question? What advice would you give someone undertaking buying, looking after, and restoring a modern classic for the first time? This isn't practical classics, David. Come on. I would say be prepared for. Don't use normal garages. Use specialists only. Treat it like it's an exotic car. Get the most original car you can, because of the bits that have been taken off it that you might want. Even if you modify it yourself, you still want those original bits to put back on it, and not easy to find depending on what car it is. And immerse yourself in the owners forums and Facebook groups and things, and go for something that you love. Don't play it safe. Don't play it sensible. You might not be around tomorrow, so just get whatever it is. I really want one of them. Then do it. If you can afford it, do it. So that would be me. Is it difficult to get your hands on an XU10 16 valve engine these days, or have they loose ones all been stuffed into 205s? Well, they tend to go for the GTI 6 version. So the normal version, I don't know. I mean, they're probably about in second-hand circles, but I don't know. I've never looked, to be honest. I'm happy with my XU9 16 valve. Is it possible to put Clement on the rolling road before he's sold for parts? No. It is not possible to do that. All 206s suffer from pedal boxes the size of post-it notes. Beware if you have big feet. I don't, so I'm all right. Oh, the 206 doesn't. Are you thinking of 106? 206 wasn't too bad, I didn't think. Prelude, you're surely a legend, man. I like that Legend. What was that Legend Coupe they did? Like 94, 93, 94? That was a sleek looking thing, wasn't it? No, I like Preludes. Yeah, 4th gen, 5th gen. Not mad. Never really been that into the 3rd. But yeah, no, Legend Coupe would be good. Not like the later one, not the sort of P-Reg shape. Is it P-Reg? One of them looked a bit. There was one that looked really funky. It had like real like letterbox lights at the front, real mean looking thing. And they did a 2-door coupe of it. I quite like them. Do my kids watch my videos, or are they not interested? They're not interested in nerdy BX talk. No, I think they watched the holiday one, because they get good vibes. Apparently, that's the thing. Yeah, they watched the holiday one, the France one. They probably watch one if it's about a car they go in. Maybe no, they won't watch C6 ones because they're technical. They've watched a couple, but I don't think they've watched much of them. Is the A2 better looking than the Plurial though? It's not really better looking, is it? Like, is it less bad? Yeah, yeah. The A2 is better looking than the Plurial. Yeah, I would say so. The danger is that you'll join the VAG crowd and they're a bit strange, mate. I'm in the Citroen crowd. There are some oddballs in that, I can tell you. So with Clement's untimely passing, has the SM been bumped up in a queue? I wouldn't say it's been bumped up, but it didn't get bumped down. If Clement was still here, it would get bumped down. So yeah, I think the SM is going to. I need to progress the SM. So the main thing that was holding that back was probably overreaching, and there was a period where I was too scared to do anything on it. But now I'm not like that so much. So I think, yeah, if Clement had stayed, it would have hindered the SM. I don't think the SM is going to speed up and move forward necessarily, but it will move forward. Which if Clement was still on the go, it wouldn't. But I've still got to get rid of Clement. Well, what's left of it anyway. My Rover 75 was original until I had to get the seals welded. I don't mind a Rover 75. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind a Rover 75. Is it true I was going to buy Hub Nuts Primera? Oh, I was interested. Where did this come from? I wanted the car with the tow bar. So, I don't know if the seats in them are awful. I've never driven a P11 Primera, but it was cheap. I would have bought it. Oh, you meant XU9 16 valve. XU9J4 is what you mean then. You need one for the project. If your project is a 205 GTI, well, you have to tell me what this project is now. Send me a message. Tell me what the project is. What do I think of new Peugeot dashboards? I'm not liking the small steering wheel that you need in your lap. No, I don't like those. I think Peugeot's styling is. I think they're absolutely on it, but yeah, the interiors. I don't like the height, like the two-tier dashboard and the tiny steering wheel. No, I don't like that. Yeah, but you don't immediately want to fit coilovers and massive wheels to everything because stance. Yeah. Yeah, but then you can do that with Citroens. You can put them on low when you drive them and look like rude. I love being around Citrophiles, most helpful group of car folks out there. VAG people are strange. Went to do a service on my car, but it would cost more than £2.30, so I didn't do it. You get them in the Citroen crowd as well, to be fair. But there's the thing with the Citroens is it's very diverse because there's so many different types. So like you get like the C6 people are different to BX people. I mean BX people. If this is Steve telling me what his project is. All right, so I've seen what Steve's project is. I'm not going to reveal it. And also had a text message off Auto Shenanigans, but I think he's gone. Imagine he's gone now, but that was an hour ago. Yeah, so I can't remember what I was saying, but something about Citroens. Like the BX crowd are really chilled out, pretty good generally. Um, yeah, yeah, there are different types because there's so many different types of car. Oh, mate, Rory, thank you very much. Have a unbear on me, very kind. What's the car with the least amount of BHP that you've driven? Well, it's probably that Austin 7 the other day. That was slow. I don't know how much power that's got, but I'm guessing not a lot. I think, yeah, before that it would have been AX 1 litre, about 50 horsepower, something like that. Driven a Frog Eye Sprite, but it's not. It had a 1275 in it. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be in the 50 region. Oh, John's still here. I didn't see your message come through, but yeah, you can. You can message. You can put me off. Can we have a hint as to what the third Great British Bloat car journey car is? That would be that would. Do you really care that much? I drove it because I picked it because I thought that I would enjoy the engineering underneath it. I thought it was going to be full of trick tech for its era, and it would be a really good drive. And it was not. It was quite a bit more basic than I thought. I mean, I quite liked it, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So that's probably the best way I can put it. So buy an Audi A4 TDI, and I don't want an Audi A4. I've got to like it. You know, they're just a bit. I just find them a bit plain. There's not really many rag cars. I don't mind the Seat versions so much. What was it, the Toledo? Not the eggy shaped one, the saloon one. Don't mind those. I don't mind Octavia VRSs. The engine's a bit boring, but apparently they're good engines. I like the new Scirocco's. They're funky looking things. But yeah, not really. There's not really much it. Yeah, the Skoda Superbs are good. Yeah, which I think is the same, isn't it, as an Audi A? Well, not the same as the first Audi A4, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't really like. I'm not really into Audis, to be honest. I've not really driven an Audi. Some of the old stuff, like Katie's got that Audi 100 Estate or Van or whatever it is. That's quite funky. Although I look under the bonnet, when she opens the bonnet and does work on it, you look at the layout in there and just like, who thought German engineering was good when you see the state of that engine bay? It's like the radiators and the bloody behind the headlight and the engines behind the front bumper. Like literally the engine's ahead of the headlights. It's just like, what is going on with that? It's like, if you just, you know, forgotten what you had to put under the bonnet and just got quick, oh, quick, someone's coming. Cram it all in. It just doesn't look thought out at all. But but they're good. But I like the technically they're good, aren't they? Good aerodynamics and everything like that, and got some nice yeah, I think they're quite funky looking. But I'm not really into VAG stuff, to be honest. I went. I mean, I worked in Euro car parts for a while, so I knew the amount of trouble people had with them. And apparently, I drove the unreliable cars, despite the fact the only things Peugeot drivers came in for were like wheel bearings and service items. And the Golf owners were coming in for injectors and airflow meters and diesel pumps and God knows what. But yeah, I just don't really make anything that excites me, to be honest. It's just all a bit plain, like ready salted crisps. That's how I see them. Don't laugh. You've got to help me fit the air jacks. See, someone said Rolls Royce Silver Spirit, right? So no, it's not the Rolls Royce Silver Spirit, but I got taken on we drove up there in the C6, and then when we got there, they said, who's been round the course before and who hasn't? And I said, I haven't, and neither had UK barn finds. So we all jumped into they took us out in that Bentley that I think Hubnut drove, and took us around the course in the Bentley. And I wasn't paying attention to where we were going because all I was doing was sitting in the back going, C6 is smoother than this, because it was. I thought the Bentley was going to be like, oh, this is going to waft. And the C6 was comfortably better riding than that. So I was like, yeah. The Audi A4 is just a Passat in drag superplane driven by Chavs. Whoa, come on. Chavs can't have Saxos and Audi A4s. I don't think they're all Chavs. I just think they're a bit plain. Oh no, there was what was the Audi the A6, like the 97 shape. They're quite funky looking. The saloons, maybe not the estate so much, but the saloons, I think they're quite good. They're kind of a little bit C6 like actually in their shape, or the C6 is a little bit like them. Yeah, I don't mind those so much. I quite like the ups, the little up, the Volkswagen up. Do I reckon German cars are overrated and have lots of issues? Well, I don't think you can blanket. I don't think you can say like German cars have lots of it. I think they're overrated, yeah. But I think they're we recorded the first Overboard podcast last night, finally getting around to it. And what did we say it was? Perceived quality. So everyone's like, oh, it's all about quality and build quality and engineering and everything. And it's not. The only thing Germans are actually masters of is perceived quality. So like all the things you touch, all the things you interact with in the car, like you shut the glove box and it clunks, or the indicators have got like a thud, stuff like that. And that makes you think the whole car's like that. Whereas underneath, when you look underneath a Mark IV Golf, it's just proper bargain basement. It's like a twist beam axle at the back, and it's just crap. There's nothing good about it at all. But you get in and you've got the nice little switches and everything like that. And it's that perceived quality thing. So to me, like if someone said to me, like, which car's better engineering, and you had an Alfa Romeo 75 and a Mark II Golf GTI, 9 out of 10 people would go, oh, it's the Golf, because and it's not, because the Alpha has got a rear mounted gearbox and inboard brakes and horizontally longitudinally mounted front torsion bar suspension. So the center of gravity is low, the weight's in the middle, in the center, the unsprung weight is reduced. 50-50 weight distribute. That's engineering. Yeah, I know the doors fall off. I know none of the electrics work and stuff. That's not really engineering. That's like finish, built and quality control, or design even. But yeah, I think like I'd say no, the Alpha is the better engineered car of those two. Not even close. But the Golf, we get in and the door like thud shut. So and it's not. It's perceived quality. Just like making people think something's better quality. But then the Saxo I done the other day is the the Saxo is a perfect example, actually, of like perceived quality and actual quality. Because although you get into a Saxo and you're like, oh god, this is rattly little box, how much of it's actually fallen off? Inside, the heater control dial broke off. Well, it fell off because a little spring thing fell out of it. And the fabric is coming away from the door cards. And that's it. It's all still there. It might feel flimsy, but it works. So in a way, which one's better engineered? One of them does the same thing. It stays together. It doesn't fall apart. It's just it feels a bit tinnier, but it's also a lot lighter, and it achieves the same thing at the end. So which one was better engineered? So yeah, I'm going off on one here, aren't I? Yeah, I kind of think they're overrated. Yeah, well, I think the best German cars are BMWs. I would say like the kind of 80s, 90s, maybe even really early noughties are good cars. Mercs from that era, nah, absolute garbage to be honest with you. VAG stuff, kind of both ways. Like some of it's quite good, some of it's not. But yeah, things like Lupo are pretty standard, aren't they? But that's the thing. Like, and he said, yeah, got fed up of all the VAG lads saying French cars are crap, blah blah blah. I've got a Peugeot. What side of the counter am I on? It's exactly the same thing. It's like you get told that what you've got is rubbish, but yeah, I don't know. I think at the end of that, I don't think you can say that a certain uh, nation, if you like, you can generalize if you like, but like if you go back in time, French cars were the best built. They were the best built, the best engineered, the most expensive. And American cars, Duesenbergs, stuff like that. If you go back far enough, so I don't think you can really generalize it that easily. And to be fair, now all cars are becoming the same, so they're all badge engineered, all the same cars now. So, good night, Thanos. Don't click your fingers, will you? What's the more durable engine, Peugeot HDI or VW TDI? I've never had a Volkswagen TDI, so I'd have to say the Peugeot HDI, the DW10, the 90 and the 110 versions are excellent engines. They're really good, and the 2 litre 16 valve actually is pretty good. So, I don't know anything about the Volkswagen ones, but I know they probably are kind of similar, and they'll do the similar sort of mileage. And from what I've heard, they're not quite as smooth, but I think they're much of a muchness, aren't they? I think they're going to achieve the same thing. Hubnut drove the Rolls Royce. They have a Bentley 8. So it was the Bentley 8 is what I went in. So, podcast. Yeah, that was the podcast. Is the we announced it during the live stream, the charity live stream ages ago. Me and Alex are doing Overbore. It's going to be totally separate from this. It's a branded thing. He's more the host, and I'm the he's the protagonist, and I'm the antagonist. Yeah, we just chat crap. So I haven't given my third road test away. Yeah, so yeah, the podcast will be, but it'll be proper podcast. It'll be like you can listen to it on Spotify and stuff like that. It's not for what I mean. There will be video versions on YouTube, but I am still going. Yep, yeah, I'm going to be on for 3 hours in a minute. Didn't plan to be here this long, but Homicide: Life on the Street. That's it. You want to watch that? Andre Braugher, yeah. F's in the chat and all that. I like German stuff. It just needs fastidious maintenance and scanners. Problem is, people buy cheap, don't maintain, and it falls apart. Yeah, but you could say the same about any car, couldn't you? I mean, like Alfa Romeos, it's the same with people like, oh, twin sparks. Oh, they're not very reliable. Like, yeah, but it's like, did you check the oil every 2 weeks, like it says? because they drink oil. So if you don't, so yeah, I get what you're saying. At the end of the day, if you look after anything, it will last, won't it? And you'll get the best car, and you don't buy the cheap parts. You buy the proper brands and stuff. Not genuine, but So you just keep your car in good nick. Electric windows on VW are not good. Now we used to sell tons of those door panels for Golfs and Passats and Audis and stuff. Regulators used to break. Oh, I had a Porsche. What Porsche was it I had in? Cayman. Oh, bloody pain that was. Stupid design. Yeah, I had to do the windows on that. Still can't believe the XM has a door thud the Germans will be jealous of. Yeah, the XM does. Yeah, the XM's not a badly built car. They're really not. The C6, there's only one rattle in the C6. I swear that is completely straight up. It's got one rattle, and it's the door, the driver's door card. There's a screw. So there's one screw in the back of it. So when you shut it, you can't see it. But when you to hold it on, there's a little screw, and someone's over tightened the one on the driver's side, and it split the door card, and that is squeaking. That's it. There are no other rattles in that car, and it's done 165k. So yeah, it's pretty well built. The C4 I had, once I'd gone round the rattles that it had, and they were all silly little things like someone had broken something or the spoiler came loose, because they do that. Once you've done all that up, that was solid as well. That was nothing. Although it didn't feel solid, the doors were all tinny, and a lot of plastics felt really cheap and stuff. But yeah, C6 is, you certainly can't see why you'd need anything better built than that. So surprised to see they had an MG ZS there. I was, but the only reason I would be surprised to see they had an MG ZS there is that you could not really drive it around that course and get value for money out of it unless you just wanted to feel one and smell one again. Because yeah, you need one of them on the road. For all the other cars they had there, that little off-road course thing was fine, but I think the ZS you'd be completely wasted on that. Yeah, because they're good fun cars, and they're really bumpy, and that course is quite bumpy. So, except for the power output on a Berlingo, yeah, he's a little bit, yeah, he's not that sore about it, but yeah, quite funny. Every car he brings on their struggles, except his 2CV. Oh, just reading the comments. Tomorrow I am buying a C6 with noise in the engine. I would want to be you. Why would you do that? When I showed Vep off to my mate, he was genuinely shocked how hollow the doors sound when you pull the handles. But it's all still there. It's only done like 20 odd thousand miles, to be fair, so it should be. Have I considered buying a C6 parts car? No, but I tell you what, there's a C6. I think I saved a picture of it. I'm gonna go soon anyway, because I've been there like 3 hours. This C6 is on Facebook. £750. It needs front struts, but it does actually drive okay. It's got MOT until February. Done a few miles, admittedly. Well, a little bit more than mine. It's done 170k. 2008, 2.7. Needs suspension struts. Starts fine, drives fine. £750 or near offer. So, yeah. Someone get it bought. Have I ever put the C6 on the dyno? No. Oh, Hubnut, Miss Hubnut's here. I'm still here. I was going to go. Hello, Miss Hubnut. Hello, Hubnut. It does look good in that red, doesn't it? Yeah, Ian's here now. Don't talk about him. Stop all that stuff people were saying, that then like the thing with the dodgy bit as well, and that list. Don't mention that, like, because there's an investigation and everything. We were sent a Shemi parts car ad for £300 this evening. Someone wants to buy Shemi for £300 for parts. Could do. Serial killers and Ford Fairmonts. The one I'm buying is white and black. Oh, what? One of those two-tone ones. Is that in the UK? We only came on to point out that Whiteland Restoration's doing a live stream on Sunday. Your superior competitors. Well, the true colours are revealed. Oh, Romania. Okay. So I don't know how many C6s you have over there, but I'm guessing not many. So kind of like you have to buy what you find. Oh, the Carly is backing away already. Ian's gone out there. He's thrown shade, and Carly's gone, "Whoa, you sure about that? I'm not getting involved in that one." And she's back. She's back right off. Not many. No, I wouldn't have thought there are many in Romania. I don't know I don't know what's going to happen with it yet. It's all a bit up in the air. But there is a special video I'm hoping to do at some point this year. One that I am very excited to do, which should involve a C6. Yeah, it's I don't know if that will happen, but when it does, you'll know. So this calls for a BX versus GSA video now. It did actually have the idea to do that, because like the GSA, obviously the BX replaced the GSA, and the funny thing with Giselle is a C reg and VEP is an A reg. But yeah, that's not my car anymore, so you'll have to speak to the owner. Am I coming to Rustival? What's Rustival? Hello from Dev. Oh God. I told everyone I was going, so the chat has suddenly like sped up. Miss Hubnut hasn't told people to do naughty things to the like button. That's why we only have 13 likes. We've got, according to my screen, there's been 139. But I don't know how important they are or not, but thank you if you have. Bits of Clement should go to Rustival. What, make a display? What, the doors? Put the doors on like some sort of frame or something like that. A tribute. Car art with Clement. Well, to be honest, you could. I had thought about this. You could like mount all the side of the roof and the wings and everything like that, and you could probably make a DS and put it on the wall, like a full size DS, and put it on the wall. Well, you could have two. You could have the right hand side and the left hand side. You could have one of them pointing upwards. It takes up a lot of space, though. I had thought about doing things like that. I don't know. How about a sofa from the front end? The problem is, it's all the time it takes to do it. The work, it's like this is all time that could actually just go into working on a car, to get a car working. Hydromatic sofa. There's not going to be many hydromatics left in it. Bring the Chemi rust. Don't think you're going to have as much somehow. Chemi is fine, by the way. Yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah, I think I could bring Vecchi, which is just like a huge amount of rust. I could have a side of Clement down each side of the bay that the SM is in. I could, but it would actually eat into the working space, so it seems a bit silly. See you later, Steve. I'm going to be off soon as well. I've been here 3 hours. Oh, it's turning into a bloody Cold War Motors one. Vecchi not got an MOT, no. Driving trains isn't work. No, it's not, is it? Why would people trade rust? Like, I don't get why. Would I think it's worth putting a new clutch and gearbox in a 2001 Zara Picasso? Financially, no. But if you really want a Zara Picasso and it is definitely rust free, then it could be, because trying to find one that is rust free will be a tall order. So, is it worth to rebuild the engine on a C6? It's they're just horrible to work on. Horrible to work on. But there's videos out there, aren't there? Watch Land Rover time. Yeah. I don't know if it's worth it or not. It depends how much the cars are and how much you want one. In the UK, it definitely wouldn't be worth it. You could just buy another one. But I don't know how easy it is for you to find one. I'm going to knock off at 1:15, by the way. That's going to be my finishing time. Why are French cars so awkward to work on? Well, they're not. Like, Saxos, for example, are crazy easy to work on. See you later, Sid. Yeah, BXs are quite easy to work on. It's just some car. I mean, like if you got an Audi, whatever, with a V6 twin turbo diesel engine in it, it would probably be a pig as well. It's just how complex the car is. It's not. It's not to do with anything to do with like what kind of nation it comes from. It's just some cars are difficult and some cars aren't. Hubnut, you should have been here earlier when Kitch said his C6 would obliterate Betty on the dyno. Right, so that's not entirely true now, is it? Oh, a Dupe Jansen. I didn't even know you were here. But yes. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't think it would obliterate Betty on the dyno. But at the same time, it is a Hubnut car. Was there fighting talk? Or were people just asking me? Yeah. No, I think if the C6 was working, if we didn't have any boost leaks and things like that, I think the C6 would have more. But as it is, I don't think it would. I think it would have less. Yeah, an XM-V6 is pretty complicated. Oh, Betty has sprung another transmission leak. So yeah, if you haven't got all the gears, that would help. See you later, Hooked on Classics. She's come into the UK's Aussie Ford specialist again. I'm not here. You must be talking about someone else. Until you've worked on a Xantia Activa with a suspension fault. Yeah, I've not really gone too deep on I've not really gone too deep on Activa suspension yet. I was going to say I've done the C6, but yeah, depends. And there would be some parts of a Activa that would be a pretty, yeah. I'm not gonna say yet. I'll wait until I've had to work on it. When can I fix what? I don't know what's even wrong with it. You're on eBay looking for a wrenching wench wig. I don't think she wears a wig, mate. I think that's actually her hair. In fact, I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty certain it is. Marcus has shouted, "Would you buy a Focus?" Probably not. I was going to do I did actually have, I did have some Aussie Ford merch designs. I've got a few designs that I haven't put on the thing yet. Gearbox output seal. That's quite an easy one, isn't it? Is that not quite an easy one? Depends if the prop shaft is a splined type, just inserts, or if it's bolt on flange. If it's bolt on flange, it might be a bit more of a faff, but you say not used to rear wheel drive. Foxanne took. You've had Lexuses. Betty. Have you not had quite a few rear wheel drive cars? Yeah, you had the diff. You've done the diff seal. Well, the gearbox seal. Yeah, the gearbox seal. If it's just the one with the splined insert, if you like, that'll be quite easy. In fact, you might even have one. Did you have one in that box of bits that came over? I'm pretty sure you did. Wrenching Wench is a great kid. Well, she's like, I think she's like 26, mate, or something like that. I think she's like proper. Yeah. She is brilliant though. Katie's brilliant, and she's actually twice. There's been 2 occasions where I've been like, oh, I don't know what such and such could be, and you're sounding people out, and she's actually been on the money. So Paul Baker is waiting for his sticker. Right. The reason your sticker isn't with you yet is because it's in here. This is your sticker. It's coming. I promise it's coming. These are going in the post box on my way out. It is getting delivered by C6. I won't show your address. Look. Oh, no. I'm trying not to. There you go. Been in there a long time. But it's coming. You'll have that next week. Thank you for waiting. The funny thing is, all the mugs and things I order, I'll be ready before the stickers now. And the stickers were here. Well, the stickers were at home. It's just been busy. Been very busy. So, really happy with my Hilda mug. Oh, excellent. The Hilda mugs have sold. I mean, the Clement mugs are the biggest sellers at the moment. I guess that's because they're. I guess that's because they're limited. But the SM ones have sold nearly as many. Hilda's done a few. C6 is a low seller. Not many C6 ones gone, but then it doesn't really matter because they're just done to order. So it's not like I've invested a load of money in them. Oh, it's 1:15. Did you order some mugs? Oh, you're waiting for BX mugs. I haven't got any BX mugs in the pipeline. I haven't got any. I haven't put anything together yet for those. Because I haven't really got any BXs on the channel. Oh, cheers, John. See you later. See what I mean? If you do live streams, mate, you could be online for like 3 hours, 15 minutes. You could do it. Yeah, and I've got a BX. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'm up your way in a week or two because that's where Hilda's gearbox is. So I'll if you've got, I'll give you a shout. It's I can't remember what village it's in. It's in a village somewhere. Yeah, we'll do. Tractor that got covered at the beginning of the chat, which you can replay. It's got plants growing on it at the moment. No, I won't stop, Mark, for a while. I'll keep doing it for a while. Much more entertaining than that Welsh channel that likes Volvos. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. What happened to the rest of the Montego the seat came from? I've no idea. I only bought the seats, so I don't know. What's a Yaki car? Whiteland versus UPnDOWN Pugil Stick battle at Russell. I don't know. What's a Pugil Stick battle? I could do Guitar Hero battle or FIFA. If someone brings an Xbox along, not a problem. I don't know what a Pugil Stick is. If you set it up, so you set it up, right, we'll have a welding battle. So, like, we have to make a box out of scrap. You'll have to have all the welders and everything pre-laid out. And I would say winners get the other one subscribers, but then you probably find that we both got the same subscribers. No, I'm not wearing a gladiator's costume. So. Right. I'm going to scoot. I'm going to go and deliver these stickers. There's stickers here going to Texas, would you believe? So, yes, I'm going to knock it on the head. But thank you, everybody, for coming along and watching me ramble into a microphone. Cheers, Rory. Thank you, Seaside. Bye, everybody that wasn't actually was just lurking. And yes, I shall. Yeah, I'll see everybody next video. Try and get one out. I'll try and get one out by mid next week. Yeah. What do you reckon? Shall we do the Great British Car third car or C6 update? Let me know. Oh, your sticker might be in it. I don't know. There's a couple that we ran out of stamps. I don't know what your name is. You're in Scotland. I'll look. Oh wow! Great British C6, 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 C6. Oh, third road test. C6, third road test. C6, C6. Oh, okay. See, the only thing is, right now I've put that choice out there, but then it means that the Great British Car Journey thing is still open ended. Right, whichever one gets edited first, I'll put out, and then the other one will go after that. So one's going to be that, and one's going to be the C6. They may be like this, they may be like that, but right, I'm going to scoot. Yeah, thank you very much, and yeah, have a nice weekend, whatever you're doing. C6. Right, that's it. Cheers, everybody.